Sometimes you're in the bed and you're like, oh. But then you get your ass up, man. They want you to fade away, bro. But wisdom can't fade away, man. And that's how deep the Lord is. You might not want to do this, yeah, but if it's your lot to do it, you're gonna fucking do it. And then you got people that want to do it, yeah, but they're not called to do it, man.
Yeah.
Like that guy that when Yahushua healed him, and he was like, man, okay, niggas healed, right? I'm gonna follow you. The Lord said, nah, man, don't worry about that, man.
You won't have the number.
Just go to the priest, show them that you're right, you're clean, and then you go about your business as a regular Israelite. That's deep, bro. You can want to be a part of something, man. It's just like, no. You know? You gotta be, because the spirit of wisdom has to grow the individual. Because wisdom can't fade away. Read that again.
Wisdom of Solomon 6 and verse 9 again. Unto you therefore, O kings, do I speak, that you may learn wisdom and not fall away. For they that keep holiness holy shall be judged holy, and they that have such things will find what to answer. Wherefore, set your affection upon my words, and desire them, and you shall be instructed.
You see? He was talking about that, man. You know, you set your affection on the words of the Lord, not the parties, not the Friday nights and the Saturday nights, man.
And the gyal them.
And the gyal them, you know. You know. You got niggas that do tours of cities, yeah, just to meet a variety of women, man. You know, I was out there in Brum and the Nottingham one, the Birmingham one, the Leicester one, the Liverpool one, the Manchester one, you know. Nah, man, our affection is on the word, man. Okay? Let's get into them precepts. That's why I started out all this, because if you don't get into the Bible, it's going to go horribly for you, man.
What one? I got a precept.
Horribly, man. It's terrible, bro. And bro, when you read the scriptures, yeah, read it in your own time. Read it slow, man. So like this. No, I'm not saying brothers. I'm talking about at home. Oh, when you're at home, read it slow. Like when you're reading precepts and that, and really digest it, man. When the scripture's saying horribly and terribly, you know the Lord ain't messing around, man. Now we want to be on the right hand of the Lord with His good graces, man. So we know what we got to do, man. Go on, Hub.
Very famous scripture here. 2nd Ezra 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand.
Now measure. We went through Revelation about 2-3 weeks ago. What's the measuring stick?
Prophecy.
Which is in what book?
The whole book.
Exactly, the Bible.
No, I mean the volume of the book.
So the measuring stick is the Bible. So when it says measure thou diligently, read it again, bro.
2nd Ezra 9, chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which He made.
Yeah, the highest, man, Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And we know that according to biblical prophecy, before the Lord brings destruction, He sends His prophets out. That's why they're trying to simmer us down, man.
Pacify us.
You know, man, you ain't gonna say that. You know, they want to give you locations where you can go. But if you're gonna be here on the premises, it has to be on this spot. I don't know about you brothers, but lately, the last couple of camps, man, I can really feel the spirit of Esau he wants to shut it down, but it's just the way the Lord is playing it out. The Lord is shutting down. There ain't gonna be much more camp, man.
I agree.
Yeah, but that time is coming.
You think that, 10 years from now, camp, yeah. No. Camp is getting finished soon, man.
Yep. Lord willing.
You know, and we want it to get there, man.
Of course.
We want it to get there. That family of the word, man.
Well, it's like it's chime in, but it's like we're working until it's night time.
Yeah.
When you can't see in the field anymore, you have to pack up and go home.
Yeah.
We're going to keep working until the Lord says, okay, blows that whistle, says, okay, quitting time, then we're going to be off.
You know, like when you watch football, yeah, you know, you got extra time because of like added time. Like,
Oh
you
yeah,
got
from
stoppage
injuries,
time.
yeah.
Injuries and all kind of stuff, man. You may get 3 minutes, 4 minutes, you know. But them last couple of seconds, leading into those last minutes, people start looking around, man. You know, like, yeah, bro. You know, man, them jogging back, tracking back and that. You know, and you can, you know what about that, bro. Man, just there, like, just waiting for the ref. Woo, woo, you know. But that's the thing. Let's say it's 2-1 down, yeah, and you're on stoppage time. If there's 20 seconds left, unless it's a miracle goal, because them things happen, you know who's won and who's lost. But we're in stoppage time spiritually. We know who's won and we know who's lost. We're just playing the last couple of seconds out.
Running out the clock.
You know, time wasting. You know, we're at the point of the game where we're time wasting, man.
This is passing the ball amongst yourselves.
Yeah, you know. You know, that's a lesson, man. You know, I mean, you're only gonna understand that if you understand the game of football or soccer. You know, but if you understand the game of football and soccer, we're spiritually time wasting on the pitch.
Yeah.
Because we already know the outcome. We've already won.
Right.
Read.
Jeremiah 16 and 16. Behold, I will send for many fishers, and saith the Lord, and they shall fish them. And after I will send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rock. So this is just this is the real work. That I'm pretty sure brothers, you know,
work.
You know, we're rubbing our hands together. Other rastas are with those men. The real work, that's the real work, man. When we start becoming hunters, man.
Yeah.
And you can call it what you want, but I'm always doing it. I'm always meditating on it. I have to ask the Most High to stop me from meditating on it so much, you know, to be a bit more balanced. But that's the real work. That's the real work.
Imagine how the first Edomite you get your hands on. Imagine being able to unleash on that first one. He's gonna get it, man. But
well, you know what? On that point, that's beautiful, right? But as well as you said, the first Edomite you get your hands on, it's the first man to put their hand on an Edomite. Yahweh.
That's right, yeah.
He's got to get his first, man.
Right.
Imagine the Lord. Let's get that. I'm a long time holding my peace. You know. Now will I cry like a travailing woman? You know? These people are oblivious out here. Getting in cars and driving.
Isaiah 42 and 14. You on it now?
Yeah, agreed, man.
Right, so this is Isaiah 42, start from verse 13. The Lord Yahweh, let me read that again. The Lord shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. He shall cry, yea, war. He shall prevail against his enemies. I have long time holden my peace. I have been still, and I have refrained myself. And now I will cry like a travailing woman. I will destroy and devour at once.
Yeah, long time holding his peace because the Lord got put to death over 2,000 years ago. He had the ability to fuck them up, and he did it. Obviously, to play out prophecy. And now he's in the spirit realm at the right hand of the Father. Now, it's just over 2 days he's been up there, because the time perception in the heavens is different to earth, man. You know? But it's been a long time that the Lord's holding his peace, man. You know? So when the Heavenly Father gives him that go-ahead, you know, he ain't gonna ask him twice, man. Okay? And he's gonna lash out, man. Because what it is, right? We're an oppressed people, and Jake really wants to lash out, man. You know, Jake wants to lash out. I'm talking about even Jake in the world, man. You know, like if you had the chance to, like, you know, you watch the movies like The Purge. Like for one night, you could just do whatever the fuck you want to do. Like if that, it's gonna get to that level. But if there was an annual purge night of whatever you could do, just do it for that whole night, right? Until about 5 a.m. in the morning. People would be going for their managers, you know, their neighbors, you know, their ex-wives, their ex-boyfriend, you know, their cousins, you know, people that they'll probably search out people that cut them up in traffic and you know, people. The way this world is, even for Edomites, you're forced to live an oppressive lifestyle. You know, your manager, get that report on my desk. Yes, yeah. Everything's just oppressed, bro. Just getting told what to do, and everything's yeah. But if you was allowed to lash out for one day, man, you'd catch about 200 bodies, man. The societies, the way the devil has made society is an oppressive one. Now, oppressed of all nations and all people is the Israelites. So when that time comes, you know like a dog here, I analyze people, man. Like you could have a dog on a leash in the park, and then they're walking on the road, walking up to the park, and they're on the leash, and then they get to the greenery, and the owner takes off the leash. Sometimes the dog will look up like, am I free? Like, you sure I can go? And then like, yeah, go, and then the dog just goes for it, because they're so accustomed to being on the leash. When they become free, they're so happy they can't believe it. I can run freely. Well, that's how it's going to be, man. We're going to realize, oh shit, it's time. Time to get these niggas, man. You know? So, and Yahushua has that feeling. He's spiritually on that leash of the Heavenly Father. When the Most High Yahweh retracts that, okay, son, go get me. There ain't going to be no waiting and dilly-dallying, man. That's why it says like a travailing woman. Because if you've ever seen a woman's water break, she can't control that. Oh, well, baby, my water's broken. After dinner, let's go to the hospital and deliver this child. No, man. Whatever's going on, you're commanded to stop what you're doing according to nature and fucking get to the hospital or wherever and birth that baby. Because of the pain she's in, man. So the pain that Jake has built up over the years and years, it ain't going to be a, oh, well, we'll put the go-ahead now and your house shall be sitting there like, nah, I'll wait a bit. Nah, man, as soon as he's given the command to go, it's going to be like a woman in travail. That pain, that built up pain, man, from day fucking one, going all the way back to Adam, that pain from day one, the house is going to be able to release it, man.
Just add to what you're saying. It's like if you watch F1 and they're at the starting grid, and they wait, the red lights, so you can hear them revving their engines so they can get the fastest start. That's how we're going to be waiting for that green light to go and unleash on Esau.
And then what do you have in F1? Pole position. When you go through the warm-up, time trials, that decides where you are, man. So your house is in pole position.
He's
right at the front, man.
front post, man.
Yeah, that's a lesson, man. Your house is the man in pole position. He's ready to fucking go, man. Oh, no, yo.
Get the top of this one. Isaiah 63 and 1 says, who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Bozrah, that is glorious in his apparel?
Then you know what, hold that. Let's finish on chapter 6.
Wisdom 6?
Yeah.
Right, so it says,
Then we'll get
I got to verse 12. Wisdom is glorious and never fadeth away. Yea, she is easily seen of them that love her, and found of such
easily
a
seen of
seeker.
her that love her, meaning that if you're meant to come into the truth, you're going to have a lot of struggles, but understanding the gospel is not going to be a struggle for you, man. If you've got a guy that's just not seeing it, like he wants to be a part of it, but I don't get this. You break it down 10 ways for him. Nah, but this and that. I've heard the scripture says avoid foolish questions. Because a guy that asks a lot of foolish questions is someone that really is spiritually struggling to come to terms with it. Wisdom is easily seen of they that love her. It's going to be hard to get involved, for sure, but the actual fundamentals of the gospel is not going to be hard for you to get it, man. Because it's like you already knew it. The scripture says that, though we once knew this. You're already spiritually accustomed to the Bible. So wisdom is easily seen of they that love her. Sorry.
Wisdom is glorious and never fadeth away. Yea, she is easily seen of them that love her, and found of such a seeker. She preventeth them that desire her in making herself first known unto them.
Yeah, wisdom, the scripture says wisdom will triumph. That's why you can't just, oh, I'm an Israelite, No, it don't work like that. Wisdom's gonna try you out, man. If you're really meant to be around it, man. You know, and it's the same thing. Wisdom, Sophia. It's a feminine spirit, man. All right. Now there's one thing playing hard to get and being a fucking bitch about it, but there's another thing of making a man so-called work for you, man. You know, I don't know about other brothers, man, but if I go to a woman and I've got her in like day one, right? I don't know about you, man. I mean, because every nigga that approaches you's got you there. You know, there has to be something about a woman that she has dignity, man.
Right.
You know, she wants to. It's a woman that gives herself to any guy don't respect herself.
Right.
So she's got to suss you out a bit. Yeah, you say you always talk about check these hoes. No, women got to check men too. Can I actually be alright with this guy, man? Or am I gonna marry this guy and be with him and fucking get killed because he's a liability out here? It's the same thing with wisdom. The truth. The truth ain't gonna give herself to you just because you put a garment on. It doesn't work like that, man. Go on.
Verse 14. Whoso seeketh her early shall have no... Let me read that again. Whoso seeketh her early shall have no great travail, for he shall find her sitting at his doors. To think therefore...
The doors is the mind. Okay? That's why the scripture says, Yahweh says, behold, I stand at the door and knock. Alright? So wisdom is that's all that's gonna be on your head. You know? If you ain't thinking about this all the time, what the fuck are you thinking about? Friday night? Saturday night? What are you thinking about, man? You know? Yeah, I gotta get the report into the boss because you watch them American shows, man. I don't know if it's actually like that. I'm not from America, but in the shows, their life is their job. Everything's their job. They'll be in the office at 10 p.m. Yeah, I gave it on my all today. Yeah. And like 6 a.m. they're back in the office again. What the fuck did you do in between? Where's the time for yourself? You know? Well, you gotta be all up into the truth, man. Go on.
Verse 14. So like a 15. No, it was 14, forgive me. Whoso seeketh her early shall have no great travail, for he shall find her sitting at his doors. To think therefore upon her is perfection of wisdom.
Yep.
And whoso watcheth for her...
Like into a woman, you get a woman, right, you're all into her, man. You know, the dating process is going well, you get together, she's all you can think about. I wonder if she's eating today and the next walk I have with her. That's all well and good, man, because you can be into women and stuff like that. Okay? But at the end of the day, this is the number one woman. The same way being infatuated and you're fooled by a woman, that's how you got to be towards the truth. Somebody call that, remember thy first love. Go on.
1 Corinthians 16 and 15. I beseech you, brethren, ye know the house of Stephanas, that it is the first fruits of Achaia, and they have addicted themselves to the ministry of the saints.
See, they have addicted themselves to the ministry of the saints. You know what it means to be addicted, man? You can't get your mind off of it. You can't stop it, man. You're just into it, man. You know? You gotta be addicted to this, man. You know? Because again, what the fuck are you gonna be doing if you're not into this? Now I'm not saying don't have your downtime, because we know guys like that, man. You know, they sleep with a camera on, man. You know, we ain't saying be like that. You know, you do whatever you're into. Your hobbies, if you got a woman, you've got children, whatever. You do your life, right? But this truth has always got to be playing in your head, man. You know? Because that can push the over-righteous vibe, innit? You know, and then next thing you know, you're not on fire, brother, you're not on fire. Yeah, all that crap. Okay? But you got to be addicted to the truth, man. You got to be fully into it. Keep moving a hug.
Oh, I lost it.
That's all right. All right. Because this world is a world of distractions, man. That's why they put certain news when they're doing major things. You know, they'll be telling you about submersibles and shit, and then they're pushing policy, man. You know, this world is a world of illusions and distractions. So you got to be focused. To you, we speak to myself. You got to be focused on this, man. And the word focus goes back to the word fuego, I believe, which means fire. Concentrate,
Concentrate, like a laser.
Concentrate, man. You know, you can't fucking concentrate, then that's the issue, man.
And that's the issue with a lot of Jake actually. They've got very low small attention spans.
Read it up.
Yeah. Going to 16 now, verse 16. That ye submit yourselves unto such, and to every one that helpeth with us, and laboureth. I am glad of the coming of Stephanus, and Fortunus, and I can't even pronounce that word, Archaeus. For that which was lacking on your part, they have supplied. For they have refreshed my spirit and yours. Therefore,
it's refreshing. That's why we feel refreshed when we're around brothers. It's refreshing to be around men that's on fire, man. All week you're by yourself for the most part. You know, sometimes brothers link up and chill and that, but for the most part you're by yourself. You know, like you leave camp on 100% and slowly you're back to start training throughout the week. You know.
For they have refreshed my spirit and yours. Therefore acknowledge.
Well, you see, according to their law, they're breaking the Sabbath. He had small hats in a car. But they're not allowed to drive on the Sabbath, according to them. So what they do? See, they can't keep their own law. That's not even in the scriptures, right? But the laws they set, they can't keep. They're not allowed to turn on the ignition on a Shabbat. Yeah. It's their so-called Shabbat, but they're in the car driving, looking at us. So even your own fucking law, because the scriptures do speak about a Sabbath day journey. All right, you can travel on the Sabbath, but it's a restricted distance. Okay, even traveling too far, if you want to get technical, it could be breaking the Sabbath because that comes on the work now. You're traveling, but there's a certain the scriptures speak about a Sabbath day journey. So you can move around and travel, but it's a very much reduced amount of traveling. Okay, so they say, well, you can't turn the car on, you know, which not, you know, technically, if you want to get real technical, they're not even going off because ignition is starting a fire, it's a flame.
Yeah, it's spark.
So you know, we're not over righteous with it. If you've got to move around on the Sabbath, let's say you come in camp or whatever, then cool, we'll jump in the car. But technically, we're not meant to. But he's there in the car driving, looking at us. What are you doing? Yitzhak. You know? Yaakov, what are you doing, bro? You're not upright, man. Anyways, that's just a passing point. I want to finish on what Hub was reading.
Right.
About
So
refreshing.
start again, verse 18. 1 Corinthians 16, verse 18. But they have refreshed my spirit and yours. Therefore acknowledge ye them that are such.
Yes.
The churches of Asia salute you. Aquila and Priscilla salute you much in the Lord with the church that is in their house.
Yeah, so you salute brothers that you know, like that's what the scriptures speak about, be not quick to lay hands on a man. You know, people think that's talking about fighting people. No, it's talking about embracing a man as a brother. You know, be not quick to say, oh, he's my friend, yeah, he's alright, yeah, he's a man. Salutations went out to people that had good rapport. It's the same thing today, man. You know, you can't just come around and they're like, well, I've got a garment too. So, okay. And in other words, water's wet. So, okay. Salutations go out to people that have good rapport in the church because they are profitable to the body. If you're a brother that edifies and adds to the body, you're profitable unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man. Okay? Even though the scriptures do say we're unprofitable servants, alright, you're of use to the Lord because you're helping and other brothers around you. You've got to be helpful, man.
Yeah, and
you know,
if I could add to that, because
if you're not helpful, right, you're actually taken away. You're a hindrance, man. You've got to be helpful. Go on, Aria.
We're gonna have so-called men that are helpers. Understand that are not in the camp. We know that. You know, some brothers they start out to their helpers and eventually they come in, but some they're just helpers out in the cup. I even remember that not to that part, you know, some two. Pull him straight niggas, man. Pull him straight niggas. But he said, what do you want to say? You want to say something? He said, they said what he said. He said, these guys are just in the car. He said, so you're going to get people that are in the car and they're going to come out of the car. If there's anything going on, they're going to come out of the car and they're going to defend you. I remember he said that. But you don't know who they are. But you also have to be mindful that you're going to have helpers or secret disciples too that come and they be helpers. Or mighty men in the background that if something happens, we had this happen as well. A mighty man comes out and deals with them and then goes back into the cup.
Well, look at Joseph of Arimathea, man. He's of the elect, man.
Right.
It wasn't his portion, and he was a master of the law. See, the Lord is deep, man. You can be a master of the law, but your calling ain't to teach.
Right.
Like
He's using too high of a position.
He's too high of a position. His calling was just to help, man. Well, you got to, and you're kind of well off, donate that for the Lord so he has a place to be buried in. Now he's going to be saved because of that. But he's of the elect, but he comes on the help. You had that sister, I forget her name, the seller of purple.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah,
I know the story. Forget the name.
She gave money to the assembly, man.
Right.
You know, you had a lot of people that were just helps, man. What about that little boy with the fish and the loaves? You do not think he's of the elect, man?
And
He's gonna be no random kiddo.
Yeah.
Because some kid, you know. So like, no, man, that little boy that did that, he was a reason as to why Yahweh could do a miracle.
Yeah.
You think he ain't that's a chosen lot, bro. Imagine that, man. Your whole existence was so that Yahweh, and no, you know how he's of the elect, the scripture says, if I be lifted up, I will draw all men unto me. He gave Yahweh a reason to be lifted up.
Yeah. And you can do things in secret, because if you do things in secret, you'll be rewarded in secret. So you don't have to make a big display out of it, and the most likely is that if you give a cup of water to one of you receive the reward of the prophet.
And just think about that really carefully. All it is one person to walk past, you know, and stop and goes, ooh, and it's going in the pocket and give you a cup, you know, a bottle of water might cost £1. Just that little one water that could just seal their salvation.
And that's the beauty of it,
It's
because
beautiful, man.
you have people in your everyday life come over and do something out of the blue, randomly nice, not even knowing the reward they're going to get for it.
Oh, so can I just say something, right? When we were coming on from camp, on Thursday, it was hell to get home.
Yeah, because the trains are fucked up.
And I was having problems, right? And this guy, this Edomite man came up to me. He said, you okay, you having problems?
Right.
And he helped me, man.
Yeah.
He took the phone from me and tried to help me. And I looked at him, I'm staring at him, you know. He just knew I'm looking at him, you know. And he's looking at my phone, I'm looking at him, I said, you don't know what you're doing, brother. Bless you. And I just took the phone and
No,
said,
brother, fuck him.
You know?
If it's an Edom,
No, so when I say Edom, it's a so-called white man, but I
because
don't
it could
know.
be a Jake. I'm playing with you. I'm playing with you because that's the spirit.
Yes, yes.
If it's an Edomite, the scripture says his words were smoother than butter.
Yes.
He probably had some. I guarantee if it's an Edomite, his intentions weren't good. It's either he's a spy or he's seen your face on camera and he's trying to get brownie points to see if he's gonna come out of punishment.
You never know.
But for a person to do that, he's probably a white Jake.
Yes.
Because what Edomite's gonna help?
No, it came up.
That probably was a white Jake.
Yeah, could have.
What
you said is perfect too.
What you just said that remind me of the Passat back 1 or 2 years ago when that on the bus when I was short of my I'm gonna read the tweet after. I was short in my oyster card, yeah. And he barged me out the way and I barged him back. And then he paid for me and then I went through him, you know. And then the driver says, he just paid you. And I said, what? He just paid you. So I looked at him, I tried to get some eye contact to see what it looked like. He did look like an Edomite, but he came, whether he was or not, he came in the spirit of an angel. In the spirit of an angel. So there's going to be people that come in, it may not necessarily be angels. Because sometimes I'm running around here, you know, this place here, and you see, I saw a man with a long stick, and he looked like an Edomite, but he said he went like that to me. So I learned a lesson from the time what happened in the Passat. Don't just jump to conclusions. Don't, you know, jump on go on the attack straight away. But let me read this one. Psalms 119 and 2 says, I have not departed from thy judgment, for thou hast taught me. Judgment, for thou hast taught me. How sweet are the words unto my taste, yea, sweeter than honey to my mouth. Though through thy precepts I get understanding, therefore I hate every foolish word. Last one. You know this one. Thy word is a lamp unto my foot and a light unto my pathway. So when you talk about, I just made that earlier when I talked about doing a video. So when we're doing a video, we're actually doing a video and we're making it, it's going up into the heavens. We're teaching ourselves. So So also you can be mindful that what you're teaching, right, and you're taking it in and you're meditating on it. When you walk out the door, if someone tests you on it, are you gonna really apply it? What you just taught? You've done a video on it. Sometimes to be mindful of that too, because you're supposed to be the first person that you should apply to should be you, first and foremost. You're not doing a video just to edify the church, you're edifying yourself too. So that is another thing when you have wisdom, when wisdom is flowing in your veins. Obviously, we're going to get tried. We're going to get tried, you see, and that's from the Most High.
Right. Let's get that video one.
Right, this is in book of Acts, chapter 16, starting from verse 14. And a certain woman named Lydia, a seller of purple of the city of Thyatira, which worshipped the Most High God, heard us, whose heart the Lord opened, that she attended to the things which were spoken of Paul. And when she was baptized and her household, she besought us, saying, if you have judged me to be faithful to the Lord, come into my house, abide there. And she constrained us.
Read that last verse again.
Yeah. It says, just the last verse or all?
No, the last verse.
Right, so it says, and when she was baptized, her and her household, she besought us, saying, if you have judged me to be faithful to the Lord, come into my house.
So you're gonna have righteous sisters, man. You know, we know food. You're gonna have sisters that are actually like on point, man. If you, deem me faithful, come into my house, man. And that would have been an honor for her to host men of the Lord, man. And I believe this was an elder woman, man.
Yeah.
Okay. It wasn't no woman, that had a husband around. It was an elderly woman.
And she said, if you've judged me to be faithful to the Lord, come into my house and abide there. And she constrained us.
Yep.
Then it goes into something else about a damsel who went to soothsaying. You want to follow that?
Yeah. Basically, Lydia was the seller of purple, man. So she accommodated people, man. She accommodated men of the Lord. So you not think that's going to be a blessing for her, man? And I have a feeling, right? I mean, I could be wrong, but I have a feeling a lot of the elect ladies, according to scripture, they're going to be older women. Yeah. These young ass homies, most of them won't get put to death. You're going to have a few of them that's young and get saved. And children as well, of course. But the majority of the elect lady that's saved, man, I believe it's going to be women that's kind of getting up there, man. These young ones are there, for the most part, they're God, they're free, man.
They're in their prime and they're in their prime.
Yeah.
They ain't got time for the most likely. They think that they should don't stink.
Yeah.
Right, let's get back to Wisdom of Solomon.
Like in Wisdom of Solomon 6, verse 15, speaking of wisdom, to think therefore upon her is perfection of wisdom, and whoso watcheth for her shall quickly be without care. For she goeth about seeking such as worthy of her, and showeth herself favourably unto them in the ways, and meeteth them in every thought.
Yeah.
For the very
meeteth them in every thought. You got to apply wisdom, man. As Ariel was saying, you make the videos. All right, how well do we apply it, man? And you know how the Spirit works. Whatever you do a video on, or whatever sometimes you pray to get better at, that's what Satan starts giving you the next trial and tribulation of that very thing.
Yeah.
You could do a video on patience, and a brother says, with that, hopefully it's edifying, shalom. And then 10 seconds later, you're blowing up about something, man. But brothers don't see that because the camera's off now. But the Lord sees that.
camera never stops rolling with the man's side.
That's right, man.
That's still a sin in itself.
Read that last verse again and keep going from there.
Verse 15, to think therefore upon her is perfection of wisdom, and whoso watcheth for her shall quickly be without care. For she goeth about seeking such as worthy of her, and showeth herself favourably unto them in the ways, and meeteth them in every thought. For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline.
The desire of discipline, man. Okay? That's what the word disciple means. Alright? Talmudamium, man. Disciple, to be under discipline. Alright? This truth requires discipline, and we all grow in discipline the longer we're in it, man. You know? But that's why certain guys don't hang around. Now, we're not going to dwell on that kind of topic, but what I'm saying is, if you're hanging around, it's because you have to apply discipline, man. In the truth, you got to be able to take rebuke. You know, you got to be able to admit you're wrong. You know, but then there's also the side of being edified, being built. Okay, fellowship. You know, but the truth takes a lot, man. You can't. I don't feel like it. You've made a contract, man. The moment you come into the camp and you dedicate, you know, I'm into this now. I wanna, you know, I'm about this, right? If you stop, you're gonna pay the punishment of a fallout, man. It's discipline to come out here when it's cold and wet. You don't feel like it, man. Or you're sick sometimes. No, but look, man, the Lord don't care about excuses, man. Okay? As I oftentimes say, the Lord is not experienced, the Lord is not experienced caring, man. Or how's the experience? You enjoying it? You know, out of 10, you know. Out of 10, what can we do better next time? Survey.
You've got to tick the box here on the scale of 1 to 10.
The Lord don't care about the fucking experience, man. The Lord is not experience driven. He is, when I say experience, because the word means to try out, the Lord don't care about your time, or how you feel, you know, your feelings. The Lord is result driven. Yeah, you went through this, but did you get the job done? The Lord is result driven, man. So to be involved in a love affair with wisdom, alright, is to be in a love affair with discipline. Go on.
Yeah. Verse 17. For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline, and the care of discipline is love.
Yep.
And love is the keeping of her laws. And the giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption.
Yeah, because love, if you love me, keep my commandments, man. You know, love is the keeping of the commandments, man. You know. And yes, you have the law, right? You know, the Torah, the first 5 books of Moses, the scroll we have, that's the law. But then you've got the whole Bible is the law as well, man. You know, other commands and statutes, you know, admonishments. These all constitute as the law. Okay, and love is the application of the law, man. Okay, read that verse again because there's something in there I want to touch on.
Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 17 again. For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline, and the care of discipline is love, and love is the keeping of her laws.
Yep.
And giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption.
And giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption. Alright?
Assurance.
The assurance, man. Alright? Now, we're not walking around saying, well, I know I made it. But guess what? The people that do this sincerely will make it. That's why we hope to be of that number. It's not a 50-50 thing of, well, you know, in the truth you may make it, you may not. Nah. No, man. Those who are in this that are predestined to make it will. It's an assurity, man. So when you take care and take heed to the scriptures and wisdom and study and the love thereof, okay, salvation is assured, man. Go on.
Proverbs 4 verse 5, and then we'll go to 7. Get wisdom, get understanding.
Yep.
Forget it not. Neither decline from the words of my mouth.
Yeah, see? See, you've got dibble and dabble. You know, I feel like it today and tomorrow I don't. Don't dibble and dabble and that bullshit spirit. Get it, man. Be securely in its grip, man. Grip onto it. Get wisdom and get understanding, man. Go on.
Forsake her not.
Forsake her not. Don't turn, let's get that. He that turneth his hand to the plow. Yeah. You know, forsake her not, man. Okay? To the very, I was watching a video, some old videos, you know, the apostles, man. Also, I said, you know, brothers put the collage together of different clips. You know, you got to endure to the bitter end, man.
I tell you, if you like it or not.
If you like it, look,
Right.
you're in it now. What are you going to do?
Fuck, man.
You know? But every weekend, you know, and hey, spirits mess with you, man. Spirits mess with you.
Come on.
You know, like, yesterday I had that, like, you just start feeling sad and really heavy in the spirit out of nowhere. And you start analysing, well, what's going, you know, there's nothing that should be making me feel like this right now. It's spirits, man. You know, you gotta go through feeling like shit sometimes in the spirit. You know, you just feel down. You just, you know, you wanna cry. You just feel sad. You know, your heart feels heavy. Your chest feels heavy. You know. And then the demon will go, if you pack it in, you go back to normal. You'll be alright. So you think. The demons are lying to you. Yeah. But as I've said, you just got to put up with it. You just got, and then you got to snap out of that. You got to pray, you got to anoint yourself, fast, do all of them things, speak to brothers, see different perspectives on certain situations, get your ass up, man. Pray to the Lord fundamentally, but you can't. Whoa, I feel sad, so I'm gonna tap out. There ain't no tapping out in the truth, man.
It's not an option.
It's not an option. To the bitter end, man. Let her finish that.
This is beautiful. It goes. It says, "Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee."
Yeah, so she shall preserve thee, man.
Wow.
How many stories are there of buildings burning, and everything gets burnt, but the Bible don't get burnt? I've heard multiple stories of that. The whole place is just trash, burnt to cinders, as they say, but the Bible is just sitting there, you know? Well, it's the same thing spiritually. You could be in this world that's burning, but she will preserve you, man.
Yep.
You're going to be preserved. Everything is getting burnt and just charcoaled out, and you're just there like, oh shit, I'm alright. That's why David said, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. We've got to qualify that. Primarily, that's speaking of the landmass of America. You know, but wherever we are, you know, you're in some danger of near death. You know, talk about near death experience. Our whole fucking existence is a near death experience.
Yeah.
You step out of your house, you're in your house. Spirits be messing with you,
that's
man.
deep. That's deep. Yeah.
You're in your you think you're safe in the house? You're not safe in the house,
Hey,
man.
I'm telling, that's powerful. You just said.
You know, you could be in your kitchen.
Yeah.
You could be in your fucking kitchen. You could have like, you know how you arrange stuff in the cupboard above. You know, you open the boom, it's just out there. Something could fall out of the cupboard, man. You know what can't happen, bro. And then now brothers are trying to contact you. No one's hearing from you. Your parents try to contact you. Your woman, and then someone calls the police to go to your house, and your body's rotting away for 3 weeks and 6 days because you got hit by the coffee jar that came out the cupboard. Nobody knows you were dead. You think you're fucking safe in your yard? You're not safe in your house, man.
And I tell you what, you could be armed length away and you still can't reach it. The phone. You can't reach your phone. Your arm, and you can't reach it. That's powerful,
Just a quick one. It's beautiful you said that because I remember a couple years back there was one fitness Instagram model type girl. Like, you know, thousands of subscribers. She used to do yoga videos or some shit.
She died in the house.
Yeah, she went into a cupboard and she was going to open a container. But it was pressurized. So the lid flew off and it hit her in the chest. And it caused her to have a cardiac arrest. So she basically had a heart attack just from trying to open with some yogurt or some shit. But it's pressurized, hit her in the chest, she's dead. That could be your ass, man.
Yeah, and that's the spirit. Like the Lord can take you out in a comical way, man. You know, reasons of death. Yeah, hit in the chest by yogurt.
Master issues are death, innit? It's a master of it.
Well, I'll call for something.
Yeah, I've got a quick one.
This is
This is Proverbs 21:7. It says, "He that loveth pleasure shall be a poor man, and he that loveth wine and oil shall not be rich." So, yeah, we're talking about discipline. Yeah. So, because discipline will enable you to put pleasure, you know, to one side and putting this ministry first, putting this work first, the Most High's work first. But if you love pleasure, you're gonna get your priorities wrong. So that's the difference. Now, there's nothing wrong with drinking some good wine or having some good oil, but it's putting them in the right perspective, in the right front, putting your priorities right. That's all that is.
That's correct, man.
So, he that loveth pleasure shall be a poor man, and many people in the world, what they call them, drunkards, down and outs, tramps, homeless people. A lot of them are, if you ask them, and you listen to what they say, some of them have become homeless because they were the wino. I love wine, or they stopped paying their rent, all kind of stupid things. Or they love crack. They put crack first, or they became an addict. So they stopped paying their rent and started to, buy crack. So that was because they put they had their priorities wrong, ultimately. So that can happen to us in the truth, not in such an extreme level, hopefully.
Will
but
somebody get that? Seek ye
yeah,
first the kingdom. bro.
can't. But if we, by putting your priorities right, because you mentioned about, not today, that feeling of not today. Well, you can do it. You can do what you need to do. That's getting your priorities right, and then you can chill out later. Now, for me, I always get what do you call it, man? Job satisfaction coming out here, because that's what them Stoics are like. They say, well, I'm going to do this, but then I know later on I'm going to get I have my time. The Stoics just they ain't nothing special about an average Stoic. They just got their priorities right. We can do that too.
Even in like they got these Stoic gym pages now. I don't feel like working out today. One of them goes, get your ass to the gym. Then the next line goes, but I don't feel like working out today. And then the person responds, nobody asks how you feel, get your ass to the gym. It's true, man. If you do things on feelings, then you're gonna be inconsistent. Nobody asks how you feel, man. Now, certain brothers have more faith than others. Certain brothers are more sick than others in terms of the ability to come out. But I'm the type of guy, man. As long as my legs are working, I'm coming out here, man. I don't care if my voice is half gone. I've got a mad migraine, a headache.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I gotta be near to like death for me not to be here.
Yeah.
Lord willing, it stays that way, But it's like, bro, nobody asks how you feel, man. Now, obviously, we care about each other off the scene, and bro, take this herb, or I'll pray for you, and you anoint you, or change your diet and shit. We care about how each other feels, but when it concerns the work, the Lord don't give a fuck. Yeah. I don't feel like, what do you mean you don't feel like it, bro? Nobody cared and asked how you felt. The command was do the work. Let's get that, where Yahushua said, if you love me, and he asked Peter 3 times.
Yeah.
To emphasize the point.
Yeah.
Make your point, but I want that scripture.
No, I was holding something else in debt for you about the
Feed my sheep, yeah.
you called for it, Harold. I don't know if you still want it. Seek ye first the kingdom and
Yeah, you can get that. I don't want the one with Peter. Man.
Right, so this is Matthew 6:33. But seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High God and his righteousness.
You should know that the Most High don't give a fuck about how you feel. The fact that he put his own son to death in such a gruesome and sadistic way, that should let you know the Lord don't give a fuck about your feelings on earth, man. He is result driven. I don't feel like it. Yeah, Yahushua went to him with that shit in the garden, man. Oh, Father, is there another way? His flesh got to him. But that's an example for us, man. The no answer was an answer. Like you prayed in the garden. You're there praying, man, and you're just not hearing anything back. You watched that movie, Passion of the Christ. That was quite a good movie, man. In the garden they had that Satan with the baby walking past, and snakes coming near him. That's kind of on point. You think it was just a peaceful evening in the Garden of Gethsemane? He had all kind of apparitions and demons messing with the Lord as he's praying, man. All these voices coming to his head, speaking in Hebrew. Don't do it. All that kind of shit.
My offer?
Yeah.
You want to be considered?
You know when
Satan with the briefcase coming in.
when they fucking got the oyster out, right?
Yeah.
They're on the fucking executive office, yeah. Take it.
Yeah.
Just take the deal.
Yeah.
Just take it, man.
It's funny, but what you're saying is actually very real. That's what happens to a lot of brothers, man. But they don't. If you're not spiritual to perceive when these temptations are coming, you might be inclined to fall for it.
Got it, yeah?
Let him finish this.
Right, so Matthew 6:33. But seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High God and his righteousness.
Yeah, like Ariel was saying, man, you searching the crack and the weed and the drink and the girl them and all that stuff and the job. We gotta have these things, not minus the crack, but we gotta have these things, right? But at the end of the day, man, this has to be first, because it says what?
Seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High God
Yep.
and his righteousness,
Right.
and all these things shall be added unto you.
Right, and all these things shall be added, man. That's the catch, man. But guess what? We're in the mindset of, even if I don't get the stuff added on, I just want the kingdom of heaven. Because you got them guys, well, I'll do it because of what I'm gonna get. No, we're doing it because we're just doing it because of our faith for the Lord. Yeah, what we get is icing on the top. That's why certain people fall out, man. Yeah, we've had guys say, well, if the Lord don't come back in 2013, then I don't know.
I'm retiring.
You know?
That's the end of my contract.
Yeah, you know, fixed term contracts.
Yeah.
It's done now. But that means they were doing it because of what they were hoping to get. No, now we know we're going to be rewarded and we do focus on that, but we don't do this just for the reward. We do it because it's the right thing to do, man.
Okay. Well, job satisfaction is it's nothing tangible. Say you go to work, you know, you go to it and get your paycheck at the end of the day, but you get people that are into art. They don't get paid for it, but they do it because they like the, you know, and they get a certain amount of buzz from it. Job satisfaction.
Yeah.
So we don't get intangibles today, but we're getting rained on, we're getting all, you know, some of the seasons. But there's job satisfaction is just that, and it's not a reward from the Most High. It's just, oh, I did that. You know, I didn't know I could do that. You know, let me read. John chapters 21 and 15 says, So when they had denied Yahushua, saved unto Simon Peter, Simon son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these?
Did we read that with you? When they dined, after they ate. The night.
I'll start from the top again. So when they had dined, Yahushua said to Simon Peter, Simon son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these? He said unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He said unto him, Feed my lambs. And he said to him again the second time, Simon son of Jonas, lovest thou me? He said unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest I love thee. He said unto him, Feed my sheep. 17. He said unto him the third time, Simon son of Jonas, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved because he said unto him, the third time lovest thou me? And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest that I love thee. Jehoshaphat said unto him, Feed my sheep.
So the Lord did that so that it would be recorded.
Right.
That gives us an emphasis to push the truth, man. You know, because yes, Peter, right? He knew thought-provoking.
Yeah.
He knew that he loved the Lord, and yet Yahushua knew that Peter loved him. So when you're getting, he's probably the Lord having an insecure moment, like what's going on, man? You already know the deal. But then that's why the third time he got grieved, man. But that was a conversation engineered so that it would be recorded. The scripture says all things are written for our learning, right? Mm-hmm. So that we can know the emphasis of the importance of pushing the word and teaching, feeding the sheep, man. You know, because certain things are already known. Like, bro, you've been out here for a while. The Lord knows you're into this, man, and you know you're into it. But you still have to fulfill the job role until the very bitter end, man. So that's why Yahushua stressed it, man. Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? Okay. And what he was really speaking about was, I'm gonna get into it a little bit more. Do you love the originator of everything, Yahweh? Do you love the Most High? That's his name. I want to get. We believe that Peter's David, right? Dawadah, my beloved. All right. So he's saying, look, man. Are you, according to your name, are you really? You're beloved to me, but am I beloved to you? You know. I'm down. I've put you in this position, you know. But are you gonna return the favor, as it was, the etiquette, man? And it's the same thing to this day. The Lord has protected us our whole lives, you know. And it's like, are we gonna give back to the Lord, man?
That's a good point.
You know, because that's what the Lord wants to see, man. I'm giving you something. What are you gonna do for me, man?
Yeah.
That's why the Lord said. They said to the Lord, you know, when was you thirsty? When was you hungry?
When saw we thee naked?
Naked. When was you in prison and we visited you not? That you do this to the least of my brethren, you do it unto me. You know. So really, a large part of the truth, once you come in, is your ability to give back, man. You know. The ability to give back, that can actually get you saved, man. It's not even about knowing everything. Now we strive to know for the mastery. You come in, you got to learn certain things real quick, real fast. But it's not even about how much knowledge you have as to why you're saying. It's the heart of the giver, man. We're talking about that, man.
Oh, yeah.
If you give me something, right? If I'm in need, let's say I'm in need, yeah, financially, and this brother gives me money, he goes, oh man, like you run me, you just shit with money, I'll fucking take it then. I'm gonna feel bad, man, because it's like he's making me feel inferior because he's giving it begrudgingly, man. Well, I'll fucking take it, they're like you're
dashing it on
it, you know. But if a brother's, you know, oh no, bro, man, I got you, man, you know, you'll go through hell, whatever. It's the heart of the giver. So how much more to the Most High? He created your little ass on earth, and you're giving him attitude. Oh, I'll do the work then.
And doing it hastily.
Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? It's more than doing the work. Yes, it's doing the work, but it's how you do the work. That's why I said in another reincarnation, David, my beloved. Yeah, but do you love the Lord with all your heart? That's a part of the law. Love the Lord your power with all your heart, your soul and your mind first. You know, so that's what it really gets into, man. Do you love me? All right. If you had to walk barefoot for the sake of the truth, would you do it? If you had to give your last pair of shoes to a brother, would you do it? You know. If a brother had to come and stay in your house, would you open up your home to him? All right. If you had one rice grain, would you get a knife and split that rice grain in half and here's your half, here's my half? Do you love me? Man? That's what it's really talking about. Man. Then feed my lambs and feed my sheep. This comes first, man. And that's why we read it. We read that precept about the salutations that were going out. You ain't gonna get saluted and salutations given unto you if you're not doing anything. This has to be number one. You know?
I've got a precept for you.
Yeah.
And just to add to what you're saying as well, when the Lord asked Peter 3 times, I'm sure he was probably reminded in himself of the 3 times he denied the Lord prior to that. So he's probably cut by that as well. But this is Luke 9:61. No. Let me start from 59. Luke 9:59. And he said unto another, follow me. But he said, Lord, suffer me to first go and bury my father.
Yeah, fucking excuses. Yeah. And people got valid excuses too. That's something valid, man. The scriptures speak about honor your father and your mother, that their days may be long upon the earth. A part of honoring your parents is that when the unfortunate day comes, when they do pass away, you have to make sure that they're put to rest in dignity. That's why even the death wish of our forefather Yahweh Suk was fulfilled in ancient Egypt.
I'll carry my bones out of Egypt.
Move with my bones. Oh fuck him, he's dead.
Leave him.
No, you have to honor your forefathers. So even our immediate parents, unfortunately, you know, when it happens, that's part of honoring your parents is seeing them go down in a dignified way. You know? Okay? So that's a valid excuse. Okay, I'm down for you, I believe, but you know, I wanna let me just bury my dad. You know? And all of that stuff, man. Go on.
And Yahushua said unto him, let the dead bury their dead.
And that's one thing that you see when you come in the truth. Niggas come with the best excuses, man. The biggest of promises and the best excuses. Next week, I promise I'll be there. Here, you sure?
What time?
What time? You know? And sometimes people are weird. They want to take your number knowing full well they're not going to come. You didn't get my number. You fucking you, bro. You know? But it's that's what it is, man. You know? He had a valid excuse. Go on.
Yahushua said unto him, let the dead bury their dead.
Where was the condolences? See, Yahushua, man, he's an austere man. Where was the condolences? Oh, your dad died? Oh, I'm sorry to hear about that, brother.
Let me give you a hug.
Let me give you a hug, brother. You know, in funerals, right? People have family members that died. In funerals, they read them scriptures about like, you know, we'll be caught up in the air together in a Christian church. you know, you'll see him again soon, my son. all that stuff, yeah. But then when Yahushua was confronted with someone that their dad died, yeah, he wasn't giving them a pep talk, man. you know, the guy, that nigger, was probably thinking the Lord's going to do a Lazarus to his dad, or Jairus' daughter, or your dad died.
Let me come and fix it up.
I got that, you know. He wasn't doing that, man. He wasn't doing that.
Yahushua slyly said that his dad was a nigger as well.
Yahushua basically said, fuck your dad.
Yeah.
In other words, fuck your dad and come follow me. You know? And that's you see, one of the best qualities of a leader is that of a man of the Lord in general, is that he's unpredictable, man. You want to be spiritually unpredictable. Yahushua is that kind of guy, right? Kind of man that you couldn't be like relaxed around him. You know, 'cause you don't know if he's gonna crack a joke or you don't know if he's gonna curse your ass out. And if he curses your ass out, you don't want to get in your feelings, and if he cracks a joke, you don't want to laugh too hard. That's the type of man Yahushua is and was on planet Earth. Man. The umbrellas, get careful with the camera. Right? So he basically said, let the dead bury their dead, bro.
Yahushua said unto him, let the dead bury their dead, but go thou and preach the kingdom of the Most High God.
Yeah, man, so fuck your dad, let's get this work, bro. Meaning like, you know, there's other family members, he'll get put in a grave, some tomb somewhere. Don't worry about that, man. Come do this, bro.
And another also said, Lord, I will follow thee, but let me first go and bid them farewell, which are at home at my house.
Yeah.
And Yahushua said unto him,
what that means is you want your family members to give you the go-ahead to be in the truth.
good point.
You know, oh mum, her dad, brother, sister, yeah, I'm into this thing, and don't look at me different. It's still me. You know, it's still me. You know, well, I can tell you about that, man. You know, you're not the same anymore. I don't know who you are.
Yeah, that as well. Yeah.
I don't know who you are.
We all get that. We all
They
get
put
that.
their hands on their head.
Yeah.
I don't know who you are anymore. you know, all kind of shit, man. You know, your sisters, they're nervous to leave their children around you now.
Bloody hell.
You know, my nieces and nephews, they love me to death, man. I love them too. You know, and when you go to uncle, you know,
When he's a small one, it might be easier to hold up.
if he tells you anything about that Bible, you know, tell mommy, I ain't gonna do that anyway. You know, but that's what they're up to.
I'm alright for now.
For now, innit? Yeah, wait till it.
If it comes, tell me when you're ready.
Yeah. You know? So he wanted to get the approval of his family. Mom, dad, can I go? Brother, sister, wife, you okay with that? Yeah?
Yes, go in peace, my son.
You know?
Preach the word.
You got men, bro, I'm telling the spirit, you got men here that, you know, they want to leave camp quickly because their woman's not happy with
Yeah.
it, you know. They want to go back home.
Yeah.
Start watching the clock.
Yeah.
It's getting late now, babe, wondering where I'm at. You know, all that shit.
Yeah.
Honey, can I go to brothers? And then, bro, you're a dickhead, man. Don't ever let a woman tell you what to do, bro. Your mum or your woman or your sister, man. He wanted the approval of his family to follow Yahushua. And your family's always gonna say no. They're always gonna say no. What? I mean, you have certain members of your family that come around, but initially they're all gonna say no, man. They're not gonna be into this, bro.
And another, this is Luke 9:61, and another also said, Lord, I will follow thee, but
Yeah.
Next
week.
Yeah.
Next,
But
go on.
let me first go and bid them farewell, which are at home at my house.
Yeah.
And Yahushua said unto him, straight through the bullshit.
Yeah.
No man having put his hand to the plow and looking back
Yeah.
is fit for the kingdom of the Most High God.
Yeah, so you got them worldly aspirations, man. You know, yeah, I'm into the truth and that, but you know, I still wanna, you know,
Be a rapper.
yeah, I wanna be a rapper and that. You know, you at the camp, right? And then
Thinking the bars.
you ain't got money, right? Because you paid £300 studio time to end up on GRM Daily. You know, you got to pay to end up on the YouTube site
Yeah.
and that. Link Up TV. SBTV, all that crap, man. You know, you want to jump on there and then be, it's not going to work out, man. You got to forsake that. You got to forsake that, man. You know? Finish.
That's the end of the chapter.
That's the end of it. Yeah, go on, man.
I got something there. 1 Samuel 2 verse 7. The Lord maketh a man, the Lord maketh a poor and a maketh a... it's like that. 1 Samuel 2 verse 7. The Lord our power maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and he lifteth up. He raised up the poor out of the dust and lifted up the beggar from the dunghill.
Yeah, that's talking about Israel now. So,
To set them among princes and to make them inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of the earth, the Lord's and the heart, and he have set the world upon them. He will keep the feet of his saints, and the wicked shall be silent in darkness.
you will keep the feet of the saints. Somebody hold Psalm 121. The Lord will keep the feet of his saints, man.
For by strength shall no man prevail.
You know, there's no device, there's no plan, no nothing, no military that's gonna take out the Lord's elect. You know, like you're of the elect, you got unconditional offer of safety, man. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
You know, like I remember when I was in school, they wanted you to go uni and shit. You have to get the correct A-level grades for certain courses. The A-levels have to be a certain grade, man. A university for your course may require AAB or ABB or BBB or whatever, you know, and then let's say they require ABB, you get ABC. Now you can't come.
Go to clearing for a friend.
Yeah, off the clearing, man. Now you're on the phone to all these unis. How can I come? Can I come? You know. All right. But then they started introducing something called unconditional offer, where you got accepted into a uni before you even sat your A-level grades. So it doesn't matter what you get. You could fail, but just because of your predicted grade, your ass ends up in uni. That's why you got Rishi Sunak now talking about getting rid of what do you call it? What's the phrasing he used? He wants to get rid of pointless degrees, basically. Yeah. You can have a degree in fucking taking a shit now. You got degrees in everything. Before, degrees used to be the arts, music, mathematics, and the sciences, man.
And
you know,
the arts kind of
the arts, you know, all of that. The arts and sciences was what degrees were based on back in the day. Even before, I do the history and everything. Before my time, like it was a very small majority of people. A very small minority of people that was going uni.
That's right.
And then, what did my mum tell me? They had something that was below uni. What was it called?
College.
No, not college.
O levels.
Nah, they had O levels. Shit. It's like some other thing. Like if you weren't smart enough to go uni.
NVQ?
Yeah, NVQ.
No.
Is it Polytech? Something like that.
Something like Polytech.
Polytechnic.
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 No, politics, something like
Yeah, Polytechnic
Yeah.
was like if you weren't smart enough to go uni, then you would go Polytechnic. You know,
Just break that word down. Poly meaning what? Many?
many skills.
Yeah, technic. Yeah.
Yeah, because you ain't smart enough to specialize.
Okay.
So
I guess this was before they introduced the general certificate of secondary education as well.
yeah, this is like, you know, going way back. But that's what they had, man. But then unconditional is no matter what you get, you're getting in. That's why you got a lot of. Sunak is a dickhead, but he's doing a lot of things that making sense now. They're getting rid of pointless degrees. You know, I got a degree in sociology. Now, what the fuck is that, man?
There's even degrees on how.
What the fuck is that?
I read somewhere there's a degree on the study of how the ball bends when David Beckham kicks it.
God,
You know what I'm saying? This is useless shit.
end it like Beckham.
Yeah.
That's you.
Oh, come on.
That's too big. It's too big.
Yeah, it'll be alright.
These two can share the big one. Them can share the big one.
What you had before? What you had before?
Like this one. It's
Okay,
fine, it's
okay.
fine, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, bend it like Beckham degrees. Come on, man. You're wasting your time, man. You're wasting your time. You got something?
Yeah, I got some. Mark chapters 10 and 42. 42 says, But Yehoshua called them to him and saith unto them, Ye know that which are accounted to rule over the Gentiles, exercise lordship over them, and their great ones exercise authority over them. But so shall it not be among you, but whosoever will be great among you shall be your minister. Yeah, because we was talking about we serve, we come out here to serve. And doing this work, as you say, we don't get tangible, you know, cash in hand. We do certain work, you get cash in hand. We will be rewarded, but the only thing we do get today, I call it job satisfaction. But you're serving and you ain't getting no tangibles.
Yeah, well, you're building up, as Elder Apostle Aramlab says, we're building up our spiritual bank account. We don't see the reward right now, but it's being noted in the heavens. So let's get that. You're talking about service. Let's talk about when Yahweh Shai was in the Passover and you washed their feet. That's somewhere in there. You've got to be of service, man.
Yeah, because we're brothers got hands, you know what I mean? And we may look at it and say, oh, we go home, I don't know about everybody individually, but I know when I go home, I say, give me the strength to do that. Because when I woke up this morning, I don't know what it's going to be like. As you say, you don't know what every morning is going to be like. Me, I wake up with my little twigs and little twinges and stuff, but then throughout the day, something happens and I'm on my feet and I'm getting ready, and next thing I know, I'm out there, man. And then I come home, most I brought me back home safely. You know, even when you was younger, maybe your mother was saying to you, say that prayer when you get up, when you leave the yard and when you get home.
That's what I wanted. You know, you mentioned that. Before we get this one, maybe I'll have to read it. Psalms 121 is what we do. I've got it. We'll read that because there's a beautiful psalm point that I'll like to play with here.
That's the spirit, because I was going to do a video on that. Psalms 121. That's the spirit of it.
Psalms 121, the Song of Degrees.
That's one of the psalms for the Pesach. That's actually in the service.
Yeah.
We read that in the Hebrew, in the Passover.
Verse 1, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help.
Now, what do mountains represent? Government. So when it says, I will lift up my eyes to the hills, it means you will lift up your eyes to the order. Acknowledging Yahweh, acknowledging Yahweh Shai, acknowledging the holy angels and the men on the earth that he set up. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh, because Esau ain't helping you. You know, he ain't helping you, man.
Only thing is something we see to early grave.
Ready, man. You know? So I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help.
Ready?
Yep.
My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He will keepeth thee.
See, he will not suffer thy foot to be moved. We mentioned that earlier. When you're of the elect, Lord willing, we're of that number. There's nothing the devil can do to pluck you out of the hand of Yahweh. Right. So it says, he will not suffer thy foot to be moved. If you're of the elect, you're not going to be in this and then you fall out. The Lord's not going to, because to suffer is like old English to say to allow or to permit. That's why when John didn't want to baptize Yahweh Shai, he felt unworthy. The Lord said, suffer it to be so. I mean, allow it to happen for the prophecy's sake. So to suffer something is to allow it to take place. Right? So he will not suffer thy foot to be moved. The Lord will not allow you to come out of the truth if you're of the elect.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold,
he won't slumber. Go on.
Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep.
The Lord doesn't slumber or sleep. We get tired. We got to take breaks. You know. All right. The angels don't get tired. The Lord don't get tired, man. You think the Most High's on his throne yawning and I'm taking a nap. The Lord don't take naps, man. Okay? He doesn't slumber, nor does he sleep. Okay? God.
The Lord Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night.
Being the powers of that's in the earth. If you're under scorching sun with no breeze, it becomes oppressive. You know? So any level of heat that's going to be placed upon us, the Lord, we're going to feel it, but the Lord's not going to allow it to burn us out. We're talking about seeds when we started. That's the seeds on the wayside. You're not going to be a seed on the wayside. You're not going to get burned out if this is for you. Go on.
Verse 7, Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thee from all evil. Evil is what? What is the word evil?
Bad times.
Bad time. The Lord will preserve us from the bad time. We're coming into the bad time. What did it start with? It started with horribly and terribly. speedily
Yeah.
and horribly. You know, that bad times now, man. You got the chip. You know, you got all kind of regulations getting passed in the dark. Go on.
Verse 8, Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore.
Yeah, read that last verse again.
Verse 8, Yahweh shall preserve thy going out.
Stop there. And that's beautiful how we mentioned earlier, because we's talking about the Lord could protect you in your house and out of your house. You know what I mean? You see how powerful that is. That's why you have to fear the Lord, you know, because you could, as you said, as Brother Yerami said, the doorknob could hit you and knock you out. You know what I'm saying?
You got people, Salaki, bro. You got people that shows you the scriptures. No, let's get it in the precept. From the Lord comes the issues of death. You got people. You got people here that get hit by cars and they survive.
Yeah.
And then there's stupid deaths like stubbing your toe, and your heart gets shocked by that, and you fall over and die. There's cases of that, right? You know, soft, cuddly teddy bears dropping the wrong way on your head and you die. But then you could get hit by a car and stay alive. The Lord is terrible, man. So as a hub is saying, man, it's all to do with the Lord in and out your house. Don't think you're safe in your house.
No,
I'm trying to make brothers go home and get paranoid.
No, but it's true, man.
But it's the truth, man.
Your house could burn down with you in it because
You
the
in
blood
it.
socket blew.
Yeah, it's true, man. It's true. Okay? That's the
Caleb.
spirit. That's the spirit he said that. You see, everything's spiritual. You know why, yeah? Because I came out, if it wasn't last night, it was the night before. Maybe Thursday night or Friday, one of them, I can't remember now. Came out of the shower, right? I went back to my room and the water was dripping from my bed. And I leaned over for the cream, right? And a drop fell into the socket. And I turned it off. I said, man, what if I just put Brother Rihanna's not around. In the house, man. But hey, man, that could be the case, man.
Hey, it's lucky there's another one. Some Instagram model, bitch, whatever. She's in the bathtub taking selfies with the phone, but the phone was plugged into the charger. It slipped out of her hand, fell in the bath, and she got electrocuted and died.
Yeah. There's a moral to the story. The Most High don't like these vain, taking this vanity to the extreme.
Yeah.
Most High kill you for that.
Yep, read that.
Right, Psalm 68 and 20, is that what you want?
Yeah.
Right, yeah, issues of death. He that is our God is the Most High God of salvation, and unto the Most High God, the Lord, belong the issues from death.
There's a lot of like Latin mottos and sayings in Latin, right? And one of them is I think it's temperus mordi, something like that. Forget the whole term, but it says, in everything remember death. And it's true, man. That lifestyle of in the world, Friday, Saturday, spoke about it. Live in it. No, in everything. You gotta have the possibility of, this
could be my end.
It could be the end of it. Right? You know? That's why the scripture says in your security. Even when you think you're secure in something, no, I can't die. Nothing's gonna happen to me here. You know, I remember the time, it was good, maybe like 7, 8 years ago, maybe even going on 9 years ago, some kid got shot in his bedroom.
Oh, was he playing with a gun?
No. A shot was fired from outside, went through the window and killed him in the head.
That happens a lot in the ghettos, Chicago, Baltimore. There's a lot of those stories.
That one was England, but over there, that's runs every day.
Right.
Man. But he got shot in his. Imagine you in your master. He's upstairs. He's upstairs on the PlayStation.
No.
Your son's upstairs on the PlayStation, and then you got Damien, you called him from downstairs. Dinner's ready.
My son's got sense of humor.
Damien, I called you. Dinner's ready, love. Damien. If you don't come downstairs, Damien, I'm turning that PlayStation off. You're fucking. She storms upstairs.
All angry.
She burst the door open. Damien!
But the funny thing is, that bullet had his name on it though. That was meant for his ass.
Baby's dead now. And the controller's in his hand.
Still the menu's paused.
I'm sorry, man. I can't help it, man. Sorry. But hey, that's you got the most side heaven laughing.
Oh, mock when your fear coming.
And then you got the angel, one of the angel that was assigned to make that happen. He goes back to the spirit realm. You know, yes, Lord, I've done it. I made the bullet go through the window of this angle. You know?
Mission accomplished.
You can pull up a hologram of it. Yeah, that's what happened. All the angels in heaven are laughing. Next thing you know, who's the latest spirit knocking on the spirit realm?
Yeah.
His ass. He's going back up there. You know? Could be a little Edomite boy, David.
Yeah.
He's in the heaven speaking Hebrew. How you killed me? You know? Careful because one of the spikes are out.
Yeah. Face it towards the wind and it will do it for you. Face it towards the wind.
Okay.
Oh, well done.
I used to fly kites.
Pick that, yeah.
The man that used to fly kites.
So they work the same in London. Kites and umbrellas.
Huh?
Do they work the same? Kites and
Yeah,
umbrellas?
it's the wind. It's all about the wind.
Your eyes gone, man. You know, more side to be played with, man. Should probably retire that one. Because the Lord is fucked like that, man. We talking about it, but you know, for real one. So that's what the Lord does, man. Read that again, Psalm 68. That's what it was.
Yeah, it was Psalm 68 again. It says, and 20, he that is our God is the God of salvation, and unto the Most High God, the Lord, belong the issues from death.
Yeah. So when a person dies, even when even an animal, man,
This one, because that's a bit
even
bigger.
an animal, this one's gonna fly away in a second. Even an animal, what did the Lord say? Not even a sparrow falls to the
Is that
ground.
your one? That's your one.
That is sanctioned.
Yeah, without it being sanctioned from the Heavenly Father, man. And a sparrow is a very small bird. But the Most High has to give the go-ahead for that. So how much more bigger and more important beings, man? Everyone goes because the Lord sanctioned it. As the scripture said, to him belongs salvation and cometh the issues of death, man.
How shall I confirm that when he was talking to Pilate as well?
Yeah.
You could do nothing against me unless we're giving you from above, the power given you from above.
Yeah. Wasn't that at the beginning of Wisdom of Solomon 6:1? The Lord gave us power.
Yeah.
Read that again.
Wisdom of Solomon 6:1 again. Hear therefore, O ye kings, and understand. Learn ye that the judges of the ends of the earth give ear, ye that rule the people, and glory in the multitude of nations. For power is given you of the Lord, and sovereignty from the highest. Who shall try your works and search out your counsels?
What? And it makes no sense. Read that again, bro.
Right, I'll get the point again. The point is in verse 3. For power,
It's the same size, isn't it? It's the same size. It's the same size.
You know, scoot over half.
Yeah.
You're
Good
still in the
idea.
frame.
Good idea.
right, Wisdom of Solomon 6 and verse 3 again. For power is given you of the Lord, and sovereignty from the highest, who shall try your works and search out your counsels.
Yeah. And so you know that
The Most High is behind it.
how should I probably thinking of that scripture?
Yeah.
You know that the power is given from above.
Yeah.
You know, so even in death, you can't do nothing against it, man. It is what it is, man. Okay, you got something? Unless we finished Psalms 121, right?
Yeah, I read that again.
No, there was a few more verses on Psalms 121. Right, let me get it again. Oh no, I didn't finish it. Sorry, there was a few more verses.
Psalms 121 again. I'll start from 1. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord Yahweh, which made heaven and earth.
That's specific.
Everything comes from the Lord. That's why his name is He to be, He exists. Everything is from the Most High. There's nothing that the Lord ain't responsible for. You know? That's why the scriptures, we have a monotheistic belief. We believe that in one God, man, in one power. Everything goes back to that power, man. Okay? Simple as that, man. You know? My help comes from the Lord. My demise comes from the Lord. My increase comes from the Lord. My decrease comes from the Lord. My joy comes from the Lord. My sorrow comes from, everything comes from Yahweh. And it's filtered down the ranks, man.
Verse 3, he will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in.
Yeah, so now, see, as I said, we're laughing and joking around with stammering lips, right? Joking and stuff. However, we do have the assurance that we're going to be protected when we're out and about. The scripture just said it. I will preserve thy going out and thy coming in. So unless it's your time to get got, we believe in faith, we can step outside and do what we got to do, man. So you know, but I'm scared to go outside. No, go outside, man. Because the Lord said he preserved our going out and coming in. Go on. And it's going to confirm it on the time stone level.
But remember the scripture says it, so like it says, though I walk through the shadow of death,
I will fear no evil.
I fear no evil.
You're not meant to be scared out there, man. Go on.
The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore.
Forevermore. So until the Lord comes back, we're not going to be in dangerous way in the kingdom. That's non-existent for Israel. So forevermore is talking of a specific time period. Until the end of the age where we can be harmed, which is this present world, the Lord is going to be with us forevermore. So we're going to be all right, man. Okay, and that's a heavy, as I said, that's a heavy psalm. One of the psalms that we read in the Passover service, man. Okay, that's a very heavy psalm, man. You know, to understand, to be conscious of the Most High and his undisputed ability to protect you as an Israelite, namely an elect member, Lord willing. That's nothing to be taken lightly. You know? So whilst we're out here, that's why we have to move a certain way. Yeah, you can't, that's why people are not tempting the Lord. Well, the Lord's got me, so I can, no, you do something stupid, you get got.
Yeah.
Simple as, man. Got some?
Yeah, but some. Isaiah 30:20 says that, and though the Lord give ye the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed unto a corner anymore, but thine ears shall see thy teachers.
The eyes shall see your teachers, man. That's why, we got the internet, the unicorn, which was the heavy lifting. We've seen the apostles, man. There's even videos. You got certain brothers, they're ancient scribes coming back, man. They can go on certain brothers' pages. They got videos. I sent one in the chat the other day. Brother got a hold of a clip of High Priest Ariyah and some other top brothers in Israel. I don't know if you brothers saw that. I put it in the chat. If I find it again, if I've got it saved somewhere, I'll put it in again. When he went to Israel, man, they was on a tour. They was diving in River Jordan, man. High Priest Ariyah and a couple other top brothers.
Yeah.
I
Put it in the chat, man.
I put it in the chat a couple of months ago.
Oh, come on.
Maybe brothers didn't see it, but
I thought you meant like this week or something.
No, I put about a good 2 months ago.
I must have missed that.
I'll find a clip and I'll put it in there again.
I think I remember something with River Jordan.
That was High Priest Ariyah in Israel, man. You got certain brothers, they can just find stuff. You got audio clips of Rabbi Abu Bivens, man.
I've heard them.
How about that? You got brothers, we've heard the voice of Prophet Elijah. He said to people, I don't know. Okay.
I just say something about
Sure.
On that.
Don't believe it then. Don't believe it. And then when you get mute here, then play the audio then. You know what I'm saying?
If I may, Brother Pisar, brief testimony. It's a long story, but I'll give you the shortened version. First, before I was in GMS, first time I heard the voice of Rabbi Bivens was when I was in the mental hospital. That's where I encountered it. There was a guy in there, because I knew about the Bible, but I didn't know about GMS. I was speaking to some of Jake in there. He goes, yeah, I've been listening to this. And he pulled out his phone and played the audio clip. And there's that black and white picture of Abba Bivens. And he was speaking. That's the first time I heard about that. Heard about any of this. But anyway, it's like you have the spirit. That's a heavy lot.
That voice was on time for you, innit? On time.
My shirt, angel's number. It's an angel's number.
111
333 777 888.
Wow.
Got good eyes, brother.
And then you go.
He just walked past the man.
When you said Rabbi of the business, he was there.
Yeah.
And I walked away like that. Oh, he kind of shook up that.
Spirits, man, spirits.
It's like
But that's the point, man.
Yeah.
Someone was reading something.
sounds on.
No, because speaking it, yes, I'll read it again because
Read it again.
yeah, read it again.
More.
Yeah, Isaiah chapter 30, 20. Yeah, because you mentioned that voice was behind you right there, man. Isaiah chapters 30 and 20 again. And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the waters of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed unto the Akana anymore, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers.
That's the point I was making. Our eyes shall see their teachers.
Yeah.
So you got the videos, man. You know, you got brothers that wanna, and we've even had that. They wanna come down in the flesh and chill. And it's like, bro, what you see online, what you're gonna see in the flesh. That starstruck thing, that ain't spiritual, man. Now, no, don't get me wrong. There's a flip side to everything. This is always better being in person, and you're gonna feel a type of way when you're around great men. To this day, I feel like that. You know.
Yeah.
So, even you brothers, man, I don't take it lightly being around you brothers, man.
When I went to Central London,
Essentially, you start,
Yeah.
you know,
The spirit's heavy.
the second time around, I kind of knew a little bit better, and my conduct was a little bit better. But before the first time, I was like, that little bit of what you just said there was on me, you know.
you calm down, man. You know, but you are gonna get like that, and it's even right. In a way, it's righteous to feel like that, man.
Yeah, because
The fear of the Lord. You go around certain men, you know, like,
they're being watched.
I can't really, you know, am I standing correct?
Yeah.
You know, kind of stuff, man. That's the man of the Lord effect, you know. But your eyes shall see your teachers. So basically, that's talking about the internet. We see the teachers. They're not removed into a corner anymore, man. Finish that out.
Yeah, 21 or 30, Isaiah 30. And thine ear shall hear a word behind thee saying, this is the way, walk ye in it, when ye turn to the right hand and when ye turn to the left.
Yeah, so you've got to be decided, tunnel vision on this truth, man. That's why we read it. Go back to the account of the guy that said, I'll bury my father, and all of that, man. You know? Okay? Brothers can pull the account of Roy. Who was it that Paul was pissed off with because he weren't being diligent? And he said, nah, you can't come on the next excursion with us. Oh, they had a party. I can't remember. You got to sit out this time, man. You fucking about, bro. Who was that, man? Barnabas. He was Paul, Barnabas, and Silas.
There was some guy who was a Barnabas wanted to bring him, and Paul was like,
Paul was like, nah, he ain't 100% down for this, man. You know?
Right, so this is back in Luke 9:59. And he said unto another, follow me. But he says, Lord, suffer me first to go and bury my father. And Yahushua said unto him, let the dead bury their dead, but go thou and preach the kingdom of the Most High God.
Just the preaching of the kingdom, which is the most important thing. Okay? Preaching, man. Let's get that. Preaching that before the Great Commission. Is it Matthew 27, I think, or 28?
Go therefore all nations. No, that's Matthew 28 and 18.
Yeah, let's get that. See, you're not going to come up there in these conditions if you don't really believe it.
I mean, it's taking them their fucking paycheck at the end of it.
No paycheck, man. You know?
But you know what?
We're adding to our spiritual bank account.
Yeah.
But, you know, in the flesh, you know, we're going to go back home and continue as usual, man. But we're out here because we believe, man. You know, and before you get that, let's get Habakkuk. Is it 2 and 4? Oh Lord, I heard thy speech and was afraid.
3 and 2.
3 and 2, the word.
You know what's funny though? If we weren't really convinced in what we're doing, we might be like them fucking Edomites in Central on a Friday night.
Yeah.
We finish the work, let's get down the pub.
Pub,
yeah. Get a few pears in. You know what I'm saying?
Going down the pub, man. And that's why the elders said not everyone can drink. Because you guys get the idea that every week you're just gonna have a drink and I did the work now.
It's a social thing,
Not
yeah.
a social, bro. You know? Find that here?
Oh, Habakkuk what? 3 and 2?
3 and 2.
3 and 2. Let me start from 1 then, innit? Habakkuk 3 and 1. A prayer of Habakkuk, the prophet upon Shigonoth.
Yeah.
Shigonoth. O Lord, I have heard thy speech and was afraid.
Yeah, if you hear the Bible, man, and it don't instill fear in you, something's wrong. Something's up, man. Something's up. Like people that like a lot of these Muslim pages, Islamic pages on Instagram and stuff, they'll play like the Quran. I've seen them do social experiments to like fucking Becky and Jack. You know, how does this sound make you feel? But it's melodious, isn't it? You know, what kind of crap, man? I didn't go for that way. You know, what kind of crap, right? And they'll be like,
Some difficulty.
that's and they'll be like, that's melodious. It puts me at tranquility. You know, but other people here like, all that crap, and it makes them feel good. But then the prophet said, I heard the word of the Lord and got afraid, man. You see, you read certain Bible, we ain't gonna do that, but if we were into the social experiment thing, we'd read scriptures like Wisdom of Solomon 601, talking about horribly and swiftly. How does that make you feel? They're not gonna say, it makes me feel tranquil, I'm at peace. You're gonna be afraid when you heard the Bible, man. So Prophet Habakkuk's response or reaction to the Bible was very on point, man. Oh Lord, I heard thy speech and was afraid, man. The Bible kicks you into fucking gear, man. And if it don't, the engine's off.
The scripture said to them, for the terror of the Lord you persuade men.
Well, let's put it. That's on point. You know? Yes, we love the Lord, but we're motivated by fear, man.
Yeah.
Fear, the fear of the Lord. You can get that in Proverbs 1. It talks about the fear and seeking wisdom and knowledge and understanding. You see, it's all over the place, but it's all kind of tying in. The fear of the Lord, man.
I've got one.
You hear the Bible, it's meant to make, oh shit,
Yeah.
you know? Because we all got cut when we first heard the scriptures.
Yeah.
The Bible's meant to cut you, man. I'm living wrong.
Yeah.
I've got to change, I've got to fix up and fix up fast. You know? Otherwise, horribly and swiftly, as the Bible said, man.
Just a quick one if I may, because you were talking about how people felt like they felt sort of tranquil when they heard the melodic Quran surahs or whatever. Well, yeah, that's a little bit too close to the truth, man. Alright, so this is Hebrews 4 and 12. That's the difference between the Bible and the Quran. It says, for the word of God is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword.
They got a place in my area on Fridays, that's their mosque day, right? They start playing it out loud in the street. So I'm going past in traffic, like I kind of learned that shit unwillingly. You're sitting there, they've blocked off the whole area because they're all walking around and driving.
Yeah.
Friday in Enfield, they're just there.
Yeah, because they will block up the
They're
road.
listening to that shit. For fuck's sake. You go to East London, they've got a big mosque in East London. They play the Adhan thing in the speakers. You'll be down the road going back into like Hackney size, you can hear them still. You know, you can still hear them.
Yeah.
You know? With all kind of crap, man. Go on.
Right, Hebrews 4 and 12 again. For the word of the Most High God is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit.
Soul and spirit, man. Oh Lord, I heard thy speech and was afraid. The word is meant to cut us, man. Okay? Meant to cut you. You just hear the Bible, you know, and it's some Jake is so bad, yeah. You'll break it down for them. So brother, look, there's gonna be missiles here. And like basically if you don't get on track, you're gonna die. And they'll still be smiling in your face. That's nice.
Yeah.
You're God. You're God. If I tell you, if you don't get right according to God's word, you're gonna die and you're still smiling at me. Like you're God in the head, man.
Yeah.
You're meant to be cut by it. Go on.
That's a man who can't discern time and judgment.
Time and judgment. Measure the time diligently. You ready?
Right, so it says, and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and the intents of the heart.
So the Bible, you can't hide your agendas, man. Like we were speaking about earlier. Secretly, you want to be a rapper, but then you're putting on a garment on Saturday, coming to the camp.
But I'm an actor.
I'm an actor, bro. I'm an actor. Yeah, well, the Bible's gonna discern your spirit. Yeah, he ain't fully down with this. He's into the world. You can't love the world, man. Let's call that. I am from above, and ye are from beneath. You see, the reason, Lord, and we say this humbly, Lord willing, we endure to the end. We're of the elect right now, of the hopeful elect, right? But Lord willing, we endure to the end. It's because we were always from above. He was never of this world, man. That's why you never fit in, you know, things weren't working out, and ultimately the Lord exposed you to the truth when you was meant to come into the truth, man. Alright? But that's the reason why the world don't work out for you, because you was never a part of it in the first place. When you thought you was of the world, trying to make it in the world, the Lord was like, man, look at this nigga, man. Like 2 years from now, I'm going to make him a prophet. Well, he was always a prophet, but I'm going to make him come into his office of being in the truth.
And to prove how the Lord is a perfect balance, because He made us all.
Yeah.
We all started off being like doing the wrong thing.
Wrong thing.
So we understand. We could just see between the good and the evil.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So it's all the path of the Lord.
Right, man. Know that?
John 8 in verse 23 says, and he said unto them, ye are from beneath, I am from above. You are of the world, I am not of the world.
Yeah, we can't read it. Start again and read again.
Right, John 8 and 23 again. And he said unto them, ye are from beneath, I am from above. Ye are of this world, I am not of this world.
Yeah, and Yahweh Shai's own are likened unto him. So we're from above, man. You know, like unto Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, because we was always with the Lord. Okay, that's Genesis, the first chapter, man. The Alahayim. We was always with the Lord, man. Okay.
Oh, that's also in Matthew 24 and 20. I didn't even read it. You talked about it, I didn't read it. Okay. Matthew 24:18. And Yahushua came and spake unto them, saying, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. Go ye therefore and teach all nations.
See, all power got given to him, man. That's another sign of a dickhead, right? You tell him, listen, man, our Lord, the Heavenly Father, gave him all power. Yeah? You're an idiot. He's telling you that he's been given all power, man. You're not going to listen to a guy like that? He's got all power, bro. He just, bye.
Yeah.
Bro, he's got all power, man. Listen to, that's what I said. When you read the Bible, read it slow. Because when you're slow with the words and you digest it, alright, it starts to click. Alright? Don't be that Bible fart. I read it, done it. I read the whole Bible in 2 days. I guarantee you didn't understand it. Because you've got avid readers out there. Edomites are into that shit. Yeah, I finished the book with 56 chapters and 3,000 pages in like a day.
Yeah.
They do that. So there's Edomites out there, or even Jake, anyone. If you really dedicated to yourself and you did nothing, you could finish the Bible cover to cover relatively quickly. But did you understand it? That's the real question, right? So read it slow. He said all power, man. I'm scared of a guy that's got all power.
Right.
So you can fuck me up, you're the make or break of me. You can decide to have mercy on me and I'm in your good graces, or you can decide to kill me, man. Because you got, guess what? All power.
And that is proof to say that they never understood the book, because if they read the book from back to back, right, they would have seen the fear of the Lord. They
would have seen it.
They would have seen the fear of the Lord and be persuaded.
Persuaded, man. Let's finish on that all power is given.
Yep, it says, and Yahushua came and spake unto them, saying, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth.
Yep.
Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always.
You know, the teaching of the gospel is to all nations. You've got Jake in all nations. You've got Jake spread out. When I say Jake, just to say you've got Israelites in all nations, and that's why we've got to both all nations. Okay? And preaching the kingdom of heaven being at hand, man. Okay? But as I said, the Lord clearly said he's got all power, man. You know? In fact, since we said that, read John 1:1.
Yep. John 1 verse 1.
Yeah, a man like Jehoshua, you wanna be cautious of him, man. You wanna be scared of him, bro. You don't wanna be too familiar with the Lord, you know. That's just like Jesus.
Yeah,
movement,
yeah,
man.
they don't fear Jesus. That's why they think, oh, it's just some guy.
Jesus. Yeah, okay.
This is John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with power, and the Word was a power.
So in the beginning, the Word was with the Word, the expressed will of the Father is his right hand, his Son. Okay? So the Word is Yahushua. The Word is Yahushua, man. And the Word was with the Most High God.
The same was in the beginning with the Most High.
Yep.
All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made.
Yeah, so from there you got to go to Genesis 1 to talk about the Lord and him being a power from the very beginning with the elect. That's what I said. Because Yahushua is from above, Lord willing, we're of the elect. We're from above. So you can't work in this world. So like, hold it for me 1 second. You can't work in this world if you're of the elect. It's not going to work out for you. The world. Okay. The downside of being an elect member is you're going to have a shit time in this world.
Yeah.
Right.
That's reviews, negatives, right?
You're not gonna have a long time.
You know, the water brother. You know when you go on them, you want to buy something online and you check the reviews. Two would not recommend. For brilliant products, but the only downside is this and that. Well, the only downside to the truth, and it's not even a downside. But if you want to put it like that, the only so-called downside to the truth is that you're going to have a not so nice time in the world. But so what? We were from before the world. Go on, brother.
Genesis 1:1.
Oh, that's a spirit.
What happened?
My fault.
Overextended. Right, Genesis 1:1. Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, the Elohim created the heavens and the earth.
In the Hebrew, Elohim is the powers, man. Allah means power. God will judge according to the context. And Yam makes the word plural. So Elohim is the powers, man. So it's Yahweh Shai leading the top angels, man. Go on.
And verse 2 says that, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the spirit of the Elohim moved upon the face of the waters. And the Elohim said,
And the waters is what? The particles, man.
or the elements.
The elements, man. In an unarranged order. Go on.
And the Elohim said, let there be light, and there was light. And the Elohim saw that the light, and that it was good.
So that's the point. The Elohim is Yahweh Shai leading the angels, which is the elect.
Right.
Okay? So from the very beginning, we were all together, man. Moving over the face of the deep, man. Right? Because you got the planets and you got the stars and stuff. People don't even know about that. You got Esau talking about the moon and the sun, the eagle has landed and all that crap. They don't even understand what it really looks like out there in outer space because they've never been there.
Exactly.
They never fucking been there.
There's Edomites selected, and it's like to tell me what it says. There's Edomites who I saw a live stream this week. Some guy was sitting in his room doing a live stream, and he had photographs of the moon landing on the wall in his house,
Right.
and they were blown up. Like, you know, you've got them pictures of them standing there. And I'm thinking, you fucking idiot, man. Because he used to talk about engineering or something. I thought, you fucking idiot, man. You got them fucking Hollywood production video pictures up in your house as if you guys actually went to the moon. But the scriptures say that the moon is a light source. It's not a dusty rock. It's actually a source of light.
Well, when you step outside of the Earth's atmosphere, you're surrounded like it's like a ball within a ball. you've got the earth, and then around the earth, you've got another ball of light. Because the earth gives its own light. And then half of that is bright, that's why you have daytime. And the other half of the earth is dark, because the other half of the extended ball around it is light, but dimmer light.
Yeah.
You know, even nighttime is light. It's just dimmed down light. You get light from the sun. You don't get light from the sun.
Yeah, it's around about maybe 5:30,
But
6 o'clock.
still light. The light of the earth comes from the element of the earth around it, that light source, man.
And the sun doesn't even come around.
The sun ain't come around, so how's it light outside then?
Yeah.
Well, you got clouds blocking the sun, it's still light outside.
Can't.
Because it can be as light as this in the morning, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning.
And there's no sun yet, you know? But then his ass went out there in a spaceship. So you mean to tell me you're traveling through light, like brilliant light, and going through, you ain't doing that, man. Then I put the video in the chat again, there was a green screen. And they were bouncing around.
Yeah.
It's some fucking, it's some studio.
Man.
Idiots, man. So that proves the point. We was with your house like in the beginning. So if your house shines from above, then guess what? We're from above. It's simple.
Turn the truth out.
Shut up, man. It's as simple as that. Okay. Now let's get that one where it speaks about then we shall be caught up with the Lord in the air in Revelation.
Revelation 21, I think.
Because that's something to look forward to in the truth as well. Being reunited with Yahweh Shai in our perfected bodies, man. Okay? We're not going to have to be away from the Lord. Now, the Lord is with us in spirit. Lo, I am with you until the end of the world, or the end of the age. That's in spirit. But actually being together, man, like we said, when you're in the presence of men, like of the Lord, obviously, it's different. It's different than a computer screen or whatever, man. So we're going to be with the Lord, man. They want to dim you down. They don't want you to shine. They want to tell you where you can and can't go. Man, we're going to be with Yahweh Shai, man.
And you know, too, as well, this leaves to another topic because the brother brought out the power, Most High, which he's a power, which obviously is above us and above everything which is to be created. So what I want to get into is these different provinces and empires that were once, very great indeed. Economically, you had a whole manner of different nations, putting in that work. All right, whatever nation that was superior at the time. And eventually, at the height of all of these kingdoms, the Lord wound up bringing them down. All right? So, the thing of it is, we are, like as the brother mentioned, we're going to unite with the Lord, but we're still already connected to Him. Just not, physically. We're spiritually connected to Him, but when we're changed, we're going to be physically connected to Him. So this is why the Lord gave us this knowledge, which is the secrets, all right, of the times and as well as the times that was before us. So I want you to give me the book of, someone give me Ezekiel, 26.
Who's first?
Yeah, you can start with verse 1.
Ezekiel 26, starting at verse 1. And it came to pass in the 11th year, and in the first day of the month, that the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, because that Tyrus have said against Jerusalem, Aha, she is broken, that was the gates of the people, she is ruined she is turned unto me, I shall be replenished, now she is laid waste.
And the thing with Tyrus was just, just to mention a few things, and then we're going to read the whole thing and go into it. Tyrus was a thriving area, okay, which I believe Tyrus is in Lebanon right now. But Tyrus was a very thriving area, and when we go into Ezekiel 27, it's going to explain how the people that actually ruled in that area had other nations putting in that work in Ezekiel 27. All right, but we're going to go into how this was a thriving city specifically to the best of my ability. Okay? Let's continue down.
Verse 3, Therefore saith the Lord God, Behold, I am against thee, O Tyrus, and will cause many nations, to come up against thee.
Slow it down, brother, a little bit. I can't.
Therefore saith the Lord God, Behold, I am against thee, O Tyrus, and I will cause many nations to come up against thee, as the sea causeth waves to come up.
Go on.
And they shall destroy the walls of Tyrus, and break down her towers.
Yeah, so this is Ezekiel prophesying against a great province. One man. It only took one man to prophesy against that one city. And it was really the Lord giving him the words to tell the people of Tyrus, or the king of Tyrus at the time, that these things are going to happen. So as you read on into the story, you're going to go into it. What you're going to find out is that it actually happened. And there's certain things that we're going to get into Ezekiel 27 that's actually happening right now. All right, because Ezekiel spoke about how Tyrus, which is, in southern Lebanon, Ezekiel said that area is going to basically be nothing more than a fish gate. And if you go and do your research right now, that's exactly what it is, even yet to this very day. Okay? So these words are what? True. Because these are what? As I've just mentioned 2 weeks ago when we was in the other place, how these are all prophecies, which really the prophecies are nothing more than the counsels of the Lord. His purposes, which is manifested here on this earth. Go on.
Verse 3. No, I've already read that one. Verse 4. And they shall destroy the walls of Tyrus and break down her towers. And I will also scrape her dust from off her and make her like the top of a rock.
Go on.
It shall be a place for the spreading of nets.
Right, that's it right there. It shall be a place, also it's in Ezekiel 26. So it shall be a place of the spreading of nets. So there's an article that I sent to you. If you can pull that out, Bubba, for sure. Because it was probably back then, or a little afterwards, the time when Nebuchadnezzar took over that area, and as well as it's yet to this very moment in time. Yeah, that's what I wanted, because you got all kind of articles that showing you that, Tyre is basically a fishing area. Yeah, so you can read whatever you want to read, brother.
This is the IUIC. This is the IUCN, and it says fishery sector in Tyre, Lebanon. Rapid market opportunity and value chain analysis for fisheries sector in Tyre, Lebanon. Infographics, marine protected areas, MPAs, and it says may be important for protecting the marine environment, but they also have substantial and socio-cultural impact, about which very little is currently known or acknowledged in Tyre. It is the case of most of the MPAs in the Mediterranean. Few data are available on the socio-economic consequences of MPAs.
So that's pretty much all we need. That's pretty much the point. It's nothing more than a fishing game. But this was a thriving city. Just like how Capernaum went down to hell. What does that mean? Meaning it went down to nothing. Capernaum was a thriving city, and the Lord prophesied against it. And what happened? It came down. So the thing of it is, it doesn't matter how powerful, how great you are, how much in the height of your power you are. If the Lord wants you to go down, if the Lord sends the prophets and declares to you a word from him, then that's going to be the word. And if the word is that you're going to go down, Esau, then that's what it is. So now what we can also do, if you can, brother, give me the book of Ezekiel, because you was even bringing up, not Ezekiel, Jeremiah 28 and 8. And there's a point that you was bringing about too, on how the Lord pretty much, damn, it left my head, man. It left my head. But the point is that what the brother is saying is that the power is above all powers. All right? It'll come back to me.
You said about power being given to the Hawashai, and that the enemy could have no power against them unless the Most High sanctions it.
That's I mean, I can land back on that because that's the topic. But yeah, that's just the point. All power is of the Father. So it don't really matter. It could just be one. The Lord could set up one guy, like this brother here. He's young. He's a very young brother. Looks insignificant because of his youth and everything. The Lord can send him and towards a great city. What I mean by insignificant, brother, I mean but you understand what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying, right? But I'm just saying, like, the Lord can send a brother that's in an outward appearance that's like young and
like King David. King David was
there you go.
a mere stripling. What they call it, ruddy, as meaning young.
Yeah.
So he wasn't according to their standard, or he was out of the box. Cause Yahweh Yahushua,
Mm-hmm.
he does things out of the box. But he's also omnipotent, so he can do anything how he wants it to be done. But it's mainly to show his power.
Yeah, that too. So that's just the thing. So if the men of the Lord are here to tell you something, then that means the Lord is about to do something. Go and read that, bro. Come forward as well.
The book of Ezekiel 28 and 8. They shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the deaths of them that are slain in the midst of the seas.
Go on.
Wilt thou yet say before him that slayeth thee, I am God? But thou shalt be a man and no power in the hand of him that slayeth thee.
Read it again.
Ezekiel 28 and 8. They shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the deaths of them that are slain in the midst of the seas. Wilt thou yet say before him that slayeth thee, I am a power?
Right. You can't say you were power. The power ordained you to be slain, the nigga, you gonna be slain. You can't go against that power. If he sanctions you to be slain, go on, my brother.
But thou shalt be a man and no power in the hand of him that slayeth thee.
Right, and thou shalt be a man with no power. Why? Because all men are in this current form is a mere mortal. So a mere mortal can't rise up against a power which is multi-dimensional. That's not going to work. He's going to be slain. He's going to be put out. And so is this devil that we're under right now. These Amalekites. Right now, they're ruling the earth. Right now, they can call the shots however they want it. You know, they can basically go to their, their councilmen and change laws and everything for their liking. They have all of that power. And then they got their politicians and as well as their banking elite. All right, to change the world, to bring forth trends and all of that. They got all of that power, right? And guess what? They ain't powerful enough to withstand what the powers that be in the spiritual realm is going to bring to them. And that's what's backing us. Go on, brother.
1 Samuel 16, and I'll start with 6. It said, and it came to pass when they came that they looked upon Elib, and you're going to see where I'm coming from when I carry on reading.
Yeah.
Elib and said, surely the Lord anointed is before him. But the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh unto the heart.
Yeah, so there you go. Hey, bro, you want to break it down? Go on.
2 more verses. And he sent and brought him now, and he brought him. I've jumped down to 12 of 1 Samuel 16. Brought him, now he was a ruddy and withal of a beautiful countenance and goodly to look to. And the Lord said, arise, anoint him, for this is he.
Yeah, that's David, isn't it?
David, David. Last one. Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brethren, and the Spirit of the Lord came upon David from that day forward. So Samuel rose up and went to Ramnah.
Yeah, because the thing with Saul was told to destroy all of those Amalekites, and as well as destroy all of the cattle, the sheep and oxen. And he didn't do it. And as well as what he also did, he saved Agag. Yeah. That wasn't the deal. The deal was to eliminate all of those people. He didn't do that.
Yeah.
So what happened was this, Samuel got so pissed off that he ripped his mantle. Which really, that was even that was even symbolic. Which it tells you when you go and read it, it says that the kingdom of heaven, not the kingdom of heaven, but the kingdom of Saul was ripped from him. That was what that was symbolic of. All right, so that's why David was what? Chosen to be the king, which was preordained anyway. It was already set up.
Last one, just to add to your point, this is the last one, of now in 1 Samuel 16 and 18, it says, then answered one of the servants and said, behold, I have seen a son of Jesse, the Bethlehemite, that is cunning in playing and mighty valiant man, a man of war and prudent in matters, and comely person.
I want to put you brothers on the spot.
Comely person, and the Lord is with him.
What is a Bethlehemite?
An Israelite that was born in Bethlehem.
There you go, brother. You got it. It's just that simple.
But some guys take it to extremes, like, oh, well, how can he be an Israelite if he was called a Bethlehemite?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So you use him as an example, right? Now, if the Moses had it that he had a spirit of prudence in him, he had a spirit of a mighty man in him, no matter what he looked like, that's what it is. And the Most High knows, you know, and he uses someone who may not be so, as we saw Goliath. You might look at Goliath and say, yeah, I want to mess with him, but sometimes it don't work like that. It's the Most High, it's the one that the Most High chose not to be messed with, and he's the one that slayed Goliath.
That's right.
That's what you would say.
Yeah. So this is the thing. So the thing of it is, even with us, we you know, when you look at us in comparisons to Esau, we're very insignificant. I mean, Esau's at the top of the world, man. He's over here. Jake is like at the bottom of the foot of Esau. But yet and still, by the words that we're bringing out, it's causing an effect on the earth. And what it's doing is pulling down this system. So you got a small, minute group of men that have all of this power. Shalom, brother. You know? Demonstrating the Lord's power, the Lord's majesty at the end of the day. Because it's not about how man sees, like you just read, it's about what the Lord can do. You know? Yeah, shalom, my brother. I'm gonna switch up right now. So at the end of the day, it don't matter how great men appear to be or what kind of power men got. It's about the power of the Most High that moves things. Okay, yeah, Esau can move things around and all of that, but the Most High can really move things that man can't. All right. Anyway, that's all I have to say on that. Yes, so go back to you, my brother. I had Ezekiel 28.
Ezekiel 28 and verse 9. Wilt thou yet say before him that slayeth thee, I am God, but thou shalt be a man, and no power in the hand of him that slayeth thee. Thou shalt die the death of the uncircumcised by the hand of strangers.
Yeah,
I have spoken it.
Yeah, and he was talking to the if I'm correct, he was talking to one of the pharaohs, which his name was in the Greek Apries, but in the Hebrew Afra. Okay? Because you still had Egyptian pharaohs that were ruling at the time. But you're gonna go into all of that anyway. Yeah, so go back and read what where we left off at.
It was in Ezekiel 26, yeah?
26, yep.
So I got to about verse 4. And they shall destroy the walls of Tyrus and break down her towers, and I will also scrape the dust from off her and make her like the top of a rock. It shall be a place for the spreading of nets in the midst of the sea, for I have spoken it, saith the Lord power, and it shall become a spoil to the nations. And her daughters, which are in the field, shall be slain by the sword, and they shall know that I am Yahweh. For thus saith the Lord God, behold, I will bring upon Tyrus Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, a king of kings from the north, with horses and with chariots and with horsemen and companies and much people.
Go on.
And he shall slay with the sword thy daughters in the field, and he shall make a fort against thee, and cast a moat against thee, and lift up the buckler against thee.
Right, and if you look at the map of Babylon, which is modern day Iraq, there's areas surrounding that empire, and it was the areas that Nebuchadnezzar took over. And one of the areas was Tyrus or Tyre. Go on.
So the next verse says, and he shall set engines of war against thy walls, and with his axes shall he break down thy towers. By reason of the abundance of his horses, their dust shall cover thee. Thy walls shall shake at the noise of the horsemen, and of the wheels of the chariots. When he shall enter into thy gates, as men enter into a city wherein is made a breach.
Yeah, so that's pretty much all we need right there. Because I mean, eventually Babylon took over this little area, Tyrus or Tyre at the time. Now we're going to expound more on how this area was a thriving area and how much what was going on at the time. Okay, so get me Ezekiel 27. Somebody get me Ezekiel.
I'm there, 20. You already got it.
Sorry.
Right, Ezekiel 27:1, it says, the word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, now thou son of man, take up a lamentation for Tyrus, and say unto Tyrus, O thou that art situate at the entry of the sea, which are a merchant of the people from many isles. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, O Tyrus, thou hast said, I am of perfect beauty. Thy borders are in the midst of the seas, thy builders have perfected thy beauty.
Yeah. Go on.
They have made all thy ships boards of fir trees of Sinir. They have taken cedars from Lebanon to make masts for thee. Of the oaks of Bashan have they made thine oars. The company of the Asherites have made thy benches of ivory, brought out of the Isle of Chittim. Fine linen with broidered work from Egypt
Yep.
was that which thou spreadest forth to be thy sail. Blue and purple from the Isle of Elishah was that which covered thee. The inhabitants of Zidon and Arvad were thy mariners. Thy wise men, O Tyrus, that were in thee were thy pilots. The ancients of Gebal and the wise men thereof were in thee thy corpus. All the ships of the sea with their mariners were in thee to occupy thy merchandise. They of Persia and of Lud and of Phut were in thine army, thy men of war.
Had everything. Yep.
They hang the shield and helmet in thee. They set forth thy comeliness. The men of Arvad.
Yeah, which the people of Arvad is another group of people that descends from Ham. If you can, brother, get to Genesis chapter 10 and read about the sons of Ham. Go on.
Yeah. The men of Arvad with thine army were upon thy walls round about, and thy gammadims were in thy towers. They hang their shields upon thy walls round about. They have made thy beauty perfect.
Yeah. So all of them nations were there to put in that work to influence the economy of this area called Tyrus. All right. A lot was going on, man. You had different various nations doing a particular thing, just like how you have it right now. Like you got, yeah, brother, support me. You want, yeah. So like I was saying, there was so much going on in that little area called Tyrus, man. How they had different various nations doing different things, and all of that, enriching the place. So as we fast forward to now, as we just went into, there's nothing more than officiate, man. Okay? And the reason why I want to repeat myself in saying that, because it's just to convey the point that, as I've said and I'll say it again, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good you're looking out here. It doesn't matter how strong you're looking and how mighty you are. The reason why nations come out of being poor and excel because of the word of the Lord. Like it is also written in the book of Psalms that what is the promotion coming not from the east to the west, nor from the south, but promotion coming from the Lord. All right? Go on.
Verse 12, Ezekiel 27:12. Tarshish was thy merchant by reason of the multitude of all kind of riches. With silver, iron, tin, and lead, they traded in thy fairs. Javan, Tubal, and Meshech.
Which are those Japhites?
They were thy merchants. They traded the persons of men and vessels of brass in thy market. They of the house of Togarmah traded in thy fairs with horses and horsemen and mules. The men of Dedan were thy merchants. Many isles were the merchandise of thine hand. They brought thee for a present horns of ivory and ebony. Syria was thy merchant by reason of the multitude of the wares of thy making. They occupied in thy fairs with the emeralds, purple embroidered work, and
which we know what an emerald is. It's one of those precious stones, which is green. Go on.
Purple embroidered work and fine linen and coral and agates.
And where did they get their fine linen from? Egypt, as you just read. And if you want to get, even right now, if you want to get fine linen, you go get it from Egypt.
They call it Egyptian cotton, baby.
Right. Yeah. Go on.
Judah and the land of Israel, they were thy merchants. They traded in thy market wheat of Minnith and Panag, and honey and oil and balm.
Huh.
Damascus was thy merchant in the multitude of the wares of thy making, with the multitude of all riches, in the wine of Helbon and white wool. Dan also and Javan, going to and fro, occupied in thy fairs, bright iron, cassia and calamus were in thy market.
Huh.
The Dan was thy merchant in precious clothes for chariots.
Yeah.
Arabia and
All of that, man. Go on.
Arabia and all the princes of Kedar, they occupied with thee in lambs and rams and goats. In these were they thy merchants. The merchants of Sheba and Ramah and Ramah, they were thy merchants. They occupied in thy fairs with the chief of all spices and with all precious stones and gold.
Man, they had a thriving economy, didn't they? Go on.
Haran and Canaan and Eden, the merchants of Sheba, Ashur and Chilmad were thy merchants. These were thy merchants in all sorts of things, in blue clothes and broidered work, and in chests of rich apparel, bound with cords and made of cedar among thy merchandise. The ships of Tarshish did sing of thee in thy market, and thou wast replenished and made very glorious in the midst of the seas.
Right. Go on.
Thy rowers have brought thee into great waters. The east wind hath broken thee in the midst of the seas.
Right, which the east wind symbolizes destruction. Go on.
Thy riches and thy fairs, thy merchandise, thy mariners, and thy pilots, thy caulkers, and the occupiers of thy merchandise, and all thy men of war that are in thee, and in all thy company in the midst of thee, shall fall into the midst of the seas in the day of thy ruin.
Right.
The suburbs shall shake at the sound of the cry of thy pilots, and all that handle the oar, the mariners and all the pilots of the sea shall come down from their ships. They shall stand upon the land.
Yep. And that's a terrible thing to hear, man. I mean, here it is, man. Like, you run a particular area, or you're doing well, under a particular individual, which is, the power of that area, and just to hear a man of the Lord say something like that, that's scary. Because now the life that those people had at the time of being, of getting rich, so to speak, was going to be put out. They were comfortable, man. They had the rug under their foot. So the prophets are here to tell, as they've always done. If you can, brother, give me Jeremiah 28. Somebody out there, get that right there. So we're telling you basically that the rug which is under your feet for comfort is going to be basically yanked from off your feet, man. You ain't going to have nothing. And this is really a message for the so-called white man. More in particular, these Amalekites.
This is it, you ready?
Go on.
Jeremiah chapter 28 verse 8 says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. The prophets,
Go on.
the prophets that which prophesy for peace, when the words of that prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that Yahweh have truly
And
sent
you know
me.
what too? It's looking more like the Lord have sent us, because I'm telling you, there's a lot of talk about the CBDC situation, and there's a lot of talk about the how it's going to be an implantable device and what have you. So it's all leading towards what we've been saying, Great Millstone to be exact. Okay? So what we're prophesying about, as we've always been doing, as well as our ancestors have been doing, has been prophesying about ills which is to come. And it's the same thing that's happening in this society. So people may walk past, like the last time he was here, man, people was laughing at us, and I could tell that people was mocking us. And that's always been the case, man. Ever since we've been on these streets, we've been mocked at and scoffed at. And guess what? Where's all of the plethora of mockers and scoffers now? Where they at? Back in 2013, 2012, 11, they were all in the midst of your Common Cause and everything. Talking all kind of shit. Right, shenanigans too. Nowhere to be found. Why? Because they see the writing on the wall. Which that term goes back to, what is it, Daniels?
Daniels, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Mini,
Yeah.
Take care of us.
your days are numbered.
Your days are numbered, yeah.
That have been weighed in the balance.
And I found wanted. And I found wanted, yeah.
Appreciate.
Go on, man.
Numbers 24 and 17 says, and shall see him, but
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
yeah.
Is that okay?
We'll start from 16. It said, he hath said, which heard the words of Yahweh, and know the knowledge of the Most High, which saw the vision of the Almighty, falling unto a trance, but having his eyes open. So this is from Numbers 24,
Yeah, that's
16.
That's someone correct me if I'm wrong. That's talking about Balaam.
Yeah.
That's it right there. Yeah, so the thing of it is, even Balaam saw it. So can another nation be a prophet? Of course. That's a case of that. All right. So the thing with Balak, the Moabite king, if I'm correct, he told Balaam to basically put a curse on Israel. And then Balaam said, look, why, what's the point of me? Why would I want to put a curse on a people that's already blessed? As a matter of fact, what he said is that he'd rather die the death of an Israelite to reap the rewards of the Israelites, because he saw it. That's why it says that his eyes were open. All right? So another thing too I want to harp on as well, like you had many kings of Israel that the prophets encountered and told them what the deal was. That look, such and such is going to happen to you, right? And eventually it happened. And these were great kings of Israel. One of them being king called Ahab. That's the first one that comes to mind. He was told by Micah the prophet, if I'm correct, Micah the prophet, that look, you're not going to win this fight. You're going to lose the fight. And sure, hell, as well as he did, that's what happened. Okay, so it's the same thing that we're doing right now. Once again, as I'm going to say, we're telling these devils, these Edomites, the deal. That look, it's up. Okay? The time right now is for you to basically win for a particular moment of time, and eventually you're gonna wind up losing. And we're gonna overstep you. That's the prophecy. And we're not telling you this because we don't like you per se, which we don't like you, because of the hard bondage we would make to serve in the society and all of the hell that we had to go through in the society. Because let's just say if Esau treated us well, and the Lord woke us up to the truth, we would still have to tell them from the word of the Lord, regardless of what. Like look at what happened to Daniel. Nebuchadnezzar was going to establish Daniel as one of the heads of his kingdom because he brought forth the interpretation. But guess what? Daniel still told him the deal. Yeah. Daniel didn't get something up and say, well, you know, Nebuchadnezzar gave me a position, which at the time his name was Belshazzar. We're going to get into all of that. He still told him the straight skin. Yeah. All right? Because it is what it is. We fear the Lord. We don't really fear what man has to say. We fear the Lord. Go on, brother.
Yeah, 17. And shall see him. Yeah. And shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel.
Which that star and that scepter of Jacob is Yahweh Shah. Go on. And
shall smite the corner of Moab, and destroy all the children of Seth.
And it tells you that too, and I believe it's somewhere in the Old Testament. It talks about that, how the Lord is going to invade Moab as an eagle, something to that equivalent. It's in Jeremiah 49. I think if you can, brother, see if you can find that up for sure. It talks about that because you think that it's just Esau that's gonna get a visit. No, Moab's gonna get a visit too from the Lord. But really, when the Lord comes back, it says that all eyes shall see him. So all of the nations are gonna get a visit from the Lord. not the visit that you're thinking about, but the visit that we're talking about. All right, because when the Lord comes back, he's coming to clean house. Yeah. Going on.
18 of number 24. And Edom shall be a possession. Possession. Sir also shall be a possession for his enemies. Seir, should say Seir. Yep. Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall be valiantly.
Right, which is the enemy of Esau. So we're going to possess Esau. It says that they that have oppressed thee, it says that in the book of Isaiah 14, it says that they that have oppressed you, you will possess them, something like that. They that possess thee, you shall possess. I'm roughly paraphrasing. Going on.
Yeah, and so in 19 now, and out of Jacob shall come that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth of the city.
Right.
Last one. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever.
That's it. That's it. So Yahweh Shah is going to be the one to take this man down. And that's going to magnify the Father. In the utmost way. That's going to magnify Yahweh, his Father, and as well as it's going to magnify Yahweh Shah. And then therefore, guess what? The elect, which has always been connected to these two, they're going to be magnified. And therefore, the children that come out of our loins is going to be magnified to the whole entire nation.
Yeah.
That's what's preordained. That's the last bus stop. Okay?
A little bit more on our,
Yeah, go on.
this is in Isaiah, Isaiah 60, because we mentioned about the latter, and skip to that rising up out of Yehoshua, which was Yehoshua, the scepter, because that was a symbol of his rulership. He also mentions that in Genesis 49, the scepter shall not depart from Judah. So Isaiah 60:1 says, Arise, shine, for thy light to come is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee.
That's talking about now, because the glory of us is this knowledge, which is our life. So when we didn't have this knowledge and this understanding, we were in a shameful estate. We was basically dead without the light. So this is a part of this knowledge is our glory, not a part of our glory, it's our glory. Because this knowledge is going to lead to our salvation. It's going to lead to that change, where we're going to have everlasting life, a change of bodies, and we're going to be back to being God's again, like the brother was going into, about the Alahayim. Who's that talking about us? Like it tells you in Peters, it says that, but the Lord have not spared those of their first estate. So we're going to transition back to our first estate again. Go on, brother.
1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and 5. Ye are all the children of the light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness.
Right, we are not of this world is what it's talking about. But we are the children of another day, which is the next world to come, the kingdom. So that's what we're prophesying about. So going into the book of Ezekiel, 27, just elaborating on these prophecies and these kingdoms. And I'm also going to read, I want you to read, get me Ezekiel 31 as well. But let's finish with this though.
Hey, you see what the one in Psalms with Moab?
Yeah.
You want to know?
Yeah, you got it, right?
I got something, but if you don't want to hear that.
Okay, go on.
Psalm 60 verse 4. Thou hast given a banner to them that fear thee, that it may be displayed because of the truth, Selah. That thy beloved may be delivered, save with thy right hand, and hear me. The Lord our power have spoken in his holiness. I will rejoice, I will divide Chechem and Mete out of the valley of Succoth. Gilead is mine, Manasseh is mine, Ephraim also is thy strength of mine. Head, Judah is my lawgiver.
Come on.
Moab is my washpot.
Oh yeah, come.
Of
Yeah,
Edom.
Yep. Yeah, so the
When
thing
I cast out my shoe.
Yeah, I'm gonna go into it. That's all right. Yeah, so Moab is basically the wash part of the law, and he's gonna use Moab because it's gonna be what the Russians linking up with the Chinese, which is already happening right now. They're gonna be set up against America. All right, and Moab is gonna be a part to play in going on. That's what I want to see.
Moab is my washpot over Edom. When I cast out my shoe. Philistia, triumph thou because of me.
Go on.
Who will bring me into the strong city? Who would lead me into Edom?
Right.
Couple more verses. Wilt not thou be our power which has cast us off? And thou, our power which didst not go out with the armies? Give us help from trouble, for vain is the help
No, that's
of
not
man.
the one. That's a good scripture,
Okay.
but that's not the one.
trying to get about more.
Yeah.
I don't. Well, you told me to get Jeremiah 48.
I tell you, we'll leave that. He's read that. See if we can find it. Yeah, so I think it's yeah, just bear with us for a couple of seconds. You know what? It could be Jeremiah 48. It could be Jeremiah. Yeah.
Jeremiah 48.
Because it mentions that, I'm going to say to the most exact, it mentions that the Lord is going to spread his wings against Moab. Similar to that equipment.
Jeremiah 48.
It may or may not be that. Let me see something. So if you got something, brother, you can read that until we find it.
Oh yeah, I got it.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah. Jeremiah 48 and 40. And it says, it's the wrong version. 48 and 40. Right. And it reads, for thus saith the Lord, behold, he shall fly as an eagle.
That's the one.
And shall spread his wings over Moab.
That's it right there. So that's just another way of saying that the Lord is going to invade the countries of China. Or the country of China, excuse me, which is no longer a country anymore. It's more of a corporation. Okay? Go on, bro.
They, you know what, let me start from the previous verse. Verse 39. No, verse 38. Jeremiah 48 and 38. There shall be lamentation generally upon all the housetops of Moab.
Yeah, and I mentioned corporation because under every corporation, what is it? You have a CEO, which can also be declared as a president, or well, in this case, we're in the UK, a prime minister. But under all of these top men, what do you have? You have slaves. You have what you call employees. So that's all this is right now. We're basically in a system, which is a slave-based system for the mass majority of the population, while those that are declared presidents, reap the rewards. All right, and those that control the prime ministers reap even more of the rewards of the service. That's why I call it corporation. Just to elaborate more. Anyway, go on, bro.
It says, for I have broken Moab like a vessel, wherein is no pleasure, saith the Lord. They shall howl, saying, how is it broken down?
Yeah, so go up a verse where you just left off at. Wow, the exact verse I told you to. Yeah, that's all
I went up to verse 38.
Yeah, come.
Today, yeah?
Yeah.
It says, 38, there shall be lamentation generally upon all the housetops of Moab, and the streets thereof, for I have broken Moab like a vessel, wherein is no pleasure, saith the Lord.
Right.
They shall howl, saying, how is it broken down? How hath Moab turned the back with shame? So shall Moab be a derision and a dismay to all them about him.
Yeah.
But
So when the Lord comes back, when the Lord comes back, is he going to destroy the kingdoms of Esau? Of course, yes. America's going to be destroyed. And guess what? There's going to be other places around the world which have become prominent under Esau's rule. They're going to also be destroyed. And one of those being Moab, which it mentions in the scriptures that Moab is what? Waxing proud. And as it is mentioned, that's the spirit. That's the spirit.
One of them's a Moabite, the other one, the black one.
Right, you got an Edomite and you got a Moabite. Running it all together. So these two nations which have become prominent in their way, the Lord is going to pay them a visit and make them a derision among themselves. Go on, my brother.
And it reads, for thus saith the Lord, behold, he shall fly as an eagle and shall spread his wings over Moab.
Right, he shall spread his wings over Moab. All of those chariots, and as well as the big fathership, is all coming.
Yeah.
So that's how the Lord is going to spread himself. Like David said that darkness was under his feet. Meaning that when the Lord comes over the earth, or excuse me, when the Lord invades this planet, it's going to just be thick darkness. So there's going to be a ginormous chariot coming, as well as what Ezra saw. He said he saw a mountain move, but it wasn't really a mountain. It was a ship. It was the Father ship. And it's funny because I did a little video on that regard with this individual. I forgot the guy's name. I think his name was Thomas Burchett or something like that. But he was saying that these so-called UFOs, and I use the term so-called because we know what they are, but to Esau, they're UFOs. He said, look, they have the technology that can defy the laws of physics.
Right.
Right? And he also said that they can turn us into what? Charcoal briquettes or something like that. That's what he said. Meaning that the prophecy, as it says that the Lord is going to what? Turn his enemies into, what is it, to dust. Yeah. Pillars of smoke. Like it also mentions in, another precept, the water, brother. Like it mentions in 2nd Ezra 13. It tells you that. So when the Lord come back, he's going to show who's the real boss. And that's how the saints, through him, is going to possess the kingdom forever and ever. So never mind what Esau's looking like right now. Because all of them nations, they was looking pretty. They was looking grandiose. Undefeatable, but got defeated. All right? At the height of their prime, they got defeated. They got taken down. So if they got taken down at the height of their power, what makes this society any different? It doesn't matter. Go on, brother. And you know what too? It's locked, brother. Because this is how you know, like when you read the history of the scriptures and what he did to the other nations, it really demonstrates our power. What kind of power that's backing us? So if we're connected to the power, this power that's able to what? Bring nations down and set them up again, then guess what? We're in an infinite situation.
Precept.
Go on, brother.
This is 2nd Ezra 2:16, few verses. A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is it that may quench it?
Yeah.
He shall cast lightnings,
right.
And who shall not fear?
Yeah, let's stop right there. It says a fire is sent forth from him, and who may quench it? You can't stop the fire of the Lord. Anything that the Lord sends, can't no one stop it. It can't be stopped. And the word of the Lord, which is going out through us, cannot be stopped. Okay? That's why we're still doing it, man. You've had many different religious groups that took us down on the streets. Where they at? They know where to be found. The Muslims ain't know where they be found. They used to be giving it laws on the streets, man. Where them niggas at? Because the Lord ain't dealing with them. But see, we've been giving it laws ever since, and we still giving it laws. Why? Because this is ordained of the Father. All right? So anything that the Father establishes is set up, and can't nobody add or take away from it. That's Ecclesiastes 3 in verse 14, baby boy. Let's continue on.
If I may, Elder, there's also another point in this. Because it says, the fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it?
Yeah.
Didn't the Lord say, I'll make my words fire and his people wood?
Yep.
So we're burning them up with these words.
That's right.
Like verse 10, he shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear?
Right.
He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid?
Uh-huh.
The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence?
At his presence, because the Lord is going to make a grand entrance, and he's going to show his face on the earth. And when he does do that, what is he going to do? He's going to shoot concentrated fire at those that try to rise against the Lord. What did Ronald Reagan say in 1987? I think it was in 84 or 87 he gave a speech. And he told the nation, he said, what if we were to see these UFOs invade this planet? Would we then put aside our differences among the nations? He gave a speech at the UN. Because even they know the deal with that. One day, the Lord is going to make a grand return with the angels, and the angels are going to do damage to this society.
Yeah. Well, they show you that in the movies. With like the end of the world doomsday movies. You know, American president, we all need to come together. If you're a Christian, a Muslim,
Right.
Yeah.
So that pushes that new world order.
Yep. Oh, yes.
That new world order.
That furthers in the new world order, because what that's saying is, look, we got to come together. Let's put away all of this politician.
Our differences.
Our differences, right? And let's all unify as one. And speaking about unifying, Klaus Schwab said it. He said, look, there ain't gonna be no more fashion. Everybody's gonna wear the same shit.
Like IUIC.
Like, right, exactly. Like them niggas.
Appreciate it.
So everybody's gonna be walking around wearing the same stuff. You see how you went to school? Like down here in the UK, like in America, you can wear whatever you want. But if you was in like primary school in the UK, you would have to wear the same uniform. They want to push that all around. Go on, brother. Who's reading?
Yeah, me.
Go on.
Psalms 118, because we talk about the chariots, but King David was, yeah, let's just read, man. 5 says, and I called upon the Lord in my distress, and the Lord answered me and set me in a large place. So, you hear about abductions, people give their experiences of being abducted. And it gets graphic. When people give their experience of being abducted, they can get really graphic. But here, this is what King David is talking about. And he called upon the Lord in my distress, and the Lord answered me and set me in a large place. And the Lord is on my side. I will not fear. What can man do unto me?
And that's a beautiful point. If the Lord is on our side, what can man do to me? All right? What can anyone do to you if the Lord is on your side? So the worst thing can happen to any of us, and if it's the will of the Lord to deliver us, that we will. Life and death is through the Lord. Okay? However you go, the scripture says the Lord will long of the issues from death. Somebody pull that out if you want. Okay? Huh. So we don't give a flying shit about it. So we don't care what he has to say. As a matter of fact, we want him to do what he's gonna do. All right? But we know that it's not under his will. It's once again, it goes back to the Father. And he's going to do what the Father wants him to do. All right? Go on, brother.
7 of Psalms 118. The Lord taketh my part with them that help me. Therefore shall I see the desire upon them that hate me. Jump down to 10 now. All nations compassed me about.
See, I didn't hear that. I heard a little bit, but I didn't hear that. He said that, what is it? Read it again.
10 again, yeah? Or do you want 7 again? 7. I'll read 7 again then. The Lord taketh my part with them that hate me, therefore shall I see my desire upon them that hate me.
Right, therefore I will see my desire upon those that hate me. So are we hated in the world? Are we hated among the nations? Damn sure right. We are hated. And it really doesn't matter what Jake thinks. Jake would feel like, man, people love us. Like, and you know what too? Jake has to say that to themselves, because it's like, it's a reality that they don't want to really deal with, that the world doesn't like it. You see, when you come back to your Shine, which I understand, if you don't have this knowledge and this understanding, which is the covering, then you're gonna lie to yourself and create these false narratives to believe. But us, we don't have to do that. We could actually look at reality dead in the face and understand that this world ain't for us. Okay? That's why we're at the bottom of it. It's okay to be outside of this world and not be like, it's all right. It's okay. Because we know that the people that are the inconsiderate ones will be above and beyond eventually. Okay? And we're going to be above these nations, ruling over them vigorously and enslaving them. How about that?
He's waving to us over there in the cut. 10 again. All nations compass me about, but in the name of the Lord will destroy them.
Right.
They compass me.
In the name of the Lord will destroy them. Just like how he said the name of the Lord when he was going up Goliath. Go on.
They compass me about. Yeah, they compass me about. But in the name of the Lord, I will destroy them.
Go on.
They compass me about like bees. They are quenched as the fire of thorns. But in the name of the Lord, I will destroy them.
That's so
If I could just say, King David was he was actually speaking from experience. He led the charge in battle, and he's talking about what he experienced when he was in the heat of battle, because he was overrun, you might call it, surrounded. So he called upon the chariot. He said, "In my distress, I called upon the Lord. And the Lord lifted him up. It might have been a tractor beam. He just pulled him up out of the midst of his enemies, and put him in a safe place, like as they talk about. That was an abduction by the chariot. Put him and protected him. and destroyed his enemies. So, you know, that's what happened. King David spoke about war a lot. It was in the heat of battle when he was relating this story or real life story. So he's seen his enemies, as you read, be burned up and turned to dust by those lasers.
That's right. Go for the precept, Elder. You're going out. This is Psalm 68 and verse 20. He that is our God is the God of salvation, and unto the Most High God belongeth the issues from death.
Yeah, someone look up that word issues and we better.
What verse
on
was
my
that?
phone. Psalm 68 and 20.
Even the birds chimed in on that.
Right, the word there for issue, right? H8444, and it's
H8144.
H88444.
Okay.
And it is Tazawa'a. Tazawa'a, and it means outgoing, a going out, extremity, an end, a source.
Yeah, so in other words, the way you go out.
Source of death. Said the Lord.
Yep. He's the source of life and he's the source of death. So the way you go out on this earth, the Lord had a hand in all that. All right. So this is the thing. It doesn't really make a difference what Esau does at this point because it was already written. Like the elder, the elder reply, he mentions about the term algorithm. The algorithm has already been set up for us to win for them to lose. From the beginning of time, ever since we weren't even thought of. Okay? So we're just here to really just give the message and the word from the Lord. That's it. Ain't really nothing else to it. What we gotta worry about? Come on, man. Go on, brother. You got something? That's why, and this is why they kicked us out the park, because they got a whole lot to worry about. They know who the hell we are. And really where we was going to be set up at, because I researched it. The park is called Parliament Hill, which is owned by the city of London. Okay, so they don't want us over there in that park, cursing them out, telling them what to do. Hell no, man. Nigga, we don't want y'all over here. Go on, brother.
Are you right, Elder? Because, you know, as the scripture says, refrain from these people, yeah?
Yep.
Acts 5 verse 38. And now I say unto you, refrain from these men, and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught. But if it be of the Lord Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, ye cannot overthrow it.
Right. Just like I mentioned before, you've had many religious leaders that were speaking about what they believe in and all of this stuff. Where they at? They know where to be found. Because the Lord ordained it. The Lord ordained us to give the final word.
Yeah.
Which is the right word. As it is also written that the apostles were sent last, which is as if it was appointed to death. This is it. Go on, brother.
And that's it, Elder. And lest ye be happily ye be found even to fight against the Lord our
Like
power.
Vocab alone. Vocab alone is looking tired, he's looking frustrated. And you better believe when he gets on camera, when he gets off camera, he's like fucked up in the spirit. You know, probably talking to himself, cursing out, throwing things all over the place. He's looking tired, man, because he really thought that he was that one and only individual that could stop this whole entire truth. You know what I mean? And that's just sometimes that's how these Edomites think, these Americans think. They think that they're like the chosen individual that could put a stop to evil, that they think is evil, when in fact they're the ones that's displaying their evil and trying to stop something that which is of the Lord. All right? So he's fighting up against the Lord. Go on, brother.
That's it, Elder.
I got one.
Go on, out.
2 Samuel 3 and 1 says, Now there was long war between the house of Saul and the house of David, but David waxed stronger.
I don't mean to cut you, Rod. He's thinking he's Neo from the Matrix. The chosen one that's going to stop all this.
All right.
Illusions, man. Go on, brother.
So
I will
David,
send them strong illusions, they shall believe a lie. Go on, out.
Long war between the house of Saul and the house of David, but David waxed stronger and stronger, and the house of Saul waxed weaker and weaker.
Yeah, that's these other camps.
Yeah.
That's Saul.
Yeah.
Saul was, you know, Saul was doing it. He tried for a while, but then the Lord said, look, man, you need to step aside. I'm gonna allow a real king, which is gonna do my will.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are the camps. They're basically the house of Saul in this setting. We're the house of David, waxing stronger and stronger. And the spirit is speaking, that's the case in this reality. Go on, brother. You wanted to say something on that, right?
And so, yeah, in general, that's the enemies. Like the house of Saul is the one that was selected to be destroyed or rise up for a time, because Saul was rejected. So those who, a lot of them he fell on his own sword, and he had thousands of followers. So they would have went into oblivion, apart from a particular person. I can't pronounce the name. Brothers might know what I'm talking about. The little disabled shoot guy. Mephibosheth. Can't pronounce the name.
Oh, Mephibosheth.
Yeah.
Mephibosheth, yeah.
But the house of Saul went into oblivion. They faded away because you might say, what happened with Hitler? When Hitler ended up shooting him, put a bullet in his own head. All those worshipping him, what did they do? They ain't got there's nothing to work. You know, they fade into oblivion. So now you got the enemies, the house of Saul, but you also got the nations too. When I look upon the nations, you walk around and you just see things in the spirit. A lot of the East, right, which are the enemy of ours, they came up heavy against us. They are becoming waxing weaker and weaker. You can see it in their eyes, you can see it in their spirit. Yeah. Like they're on all kinds of forms of fentanyl and all kinds of opioids. Yeah. And they're literally walking with their heads down.
No, but you see that though. When you step outside your door, they used to have this pompous look on their face. Even them Amalekites around here, he was here before, and them Amalekites, they look like puzzled, like unpuzzled in the mind.
But we saw one going this way, and one put it out, and he went back that way with the sun, and they both didn't want to turn their head to look this direction.
Yes, because we symbolize what they're thinking. That is the end of their work. Because they were thriving at one time. These devils, they were thriving. They still thriving to a degree, but they're not doing as good. That income they used to get from their jobs or whatever, it's no longer the case. Things ain't the same anymore. Society is taking this downturn. So now it's like, what the hell do we do with this shit, man? Yeah. That's what's scary. But see, this is the thing. We've been speaking about what we've been speaking about and elaborating what we've been talking about through the precepts. And now it's happening. Now we're in that time. We're in that time now. So as they're waxing worse and worse, we're waxing greater and greater. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, brother, man. This week, man, I was in a good mood.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was listening to my music, singing out aloud. You know, in my head, man, I had a good week, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Their taste is what we're gonna be getting that. That's in Psalms 149. Sing aloud upon their bed. Ooh. Now, every now and then, you know, you do that now, you know, within reason. But we're going to be doing that every month, you know, we're just going to be doing it, man.
Because even though this may be the house of mourning, but then again, you got to apply balance. Sometimes you could be in a state of, the scriptures talk about that. Yeah. Rejoice. Sometimes you can rejoice, man. Yeah. When it's that time, why not?
Because I remember one of the brothers was saying, Mississippi brother, Kazak. You don't like when you mention his name, but you know, I'm watching a lot of his videos. So, and he was saying that we are going to be, we're going to get our rest in the kingdom. So we're going to have, it's going to be like a long rule. So when you get your little, we getting, this is why we get these tribulations now. That's why we get them, because we're going to be ruling, and it's going to be permanent rest forever, eternally. So the Most High is that, as you said, He has to bring that balance that we can't have it now. We're going to be getting that. So we have. This is all part of it. Yeah. To keep us,
remember the scripture says that when you've been brought down to a lower state, take it cheerfully.
And that's,
you know what I mean?
And that's what you got to do.
You try to make the best of it, basically. You know what I mean?
That's it.
Make the best of it.
Yeah, because you can't always mourn. I mean, if you always mourning, man, you gonna bug the hell out. You know how I know that? Because I was doing that, man. When I first came in, I was in a dark state, man. I was in a dark state of mind. But it ain't even that heavy though. Just take it a day at a time, as the saying goes.
Yeah, well, Yahushua said that. Learn of me, my yoke is easy,
right,
and my burden is light.
Yeah.
Like sometimes brothers make it harder for themselves than it needs to be, man.
Yeah. Because what you can wind up, because we're fleshly, man. We can't have all of this pent up anger, because that's gonna just destroy us, or it can get us kicked out the camp. There was a guy that we always talk about that had all of this anger inside of him against a particular brother. He's out. He ain't nowhere to be found.
Right.
You know. So sometimes when you come into this thing, you kind of overlook things, and you what is it? You stack up all of this negative intel because of what you see, which is natural. Which is a natural thing. You're gonna be pissed off. But sometimes you gotta just be easy, man. You gotta look at things on the bright side sometimes. You know? Go on, Hawk.
Yeah,
That's all I'm gonna say on that.
I got one.
Uh-huh.
Proverbs 17. Let me see.
And then we're gonna go back to the precepts. I'm gonna go back and see. I've got one for you, Elder. Okay. I'll
Yeah,
take
you
one.
bring yours out. You bring yours out. Go on.
Ezekiel 31. Go on, Hawk.
Yeah, just pulling it up. Oh, come on. It's like it's taking a minute. Because you were talking about being in the dark state of mind and making this thing harder than it needs to be. This is Ecclesiastes 7 verse 16. Be not over righteous much. Let me read that again. Be not righteous over much, neither make thyself over wise. Why shouldest thou destroy thyself?
Go on.
So
Right, be not over wise, for why shouldest thou destroy thyself? And it also mentions in the Apocrypha too. Cast off the heavy thoughts,
Yeah.
because
that's not out of things too heavy for you.
right, that's another good one as well.
God,
Because
isn't it?
what that does is that breaks down your body.
Yeah.
Yes, it tells you like I think it was Solomon that was going into that. He said, look, a heavy mind weigh down the body or something like that.
The soul.
Yeah, it weigh down the soul. So we got this work to do. We can't always be heavy all the time. Go on, my brother.
Ecclesiastes 12 and 12. And further, by these, my son, be admonished of making many books. There is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh.
Right. And much study is the weariness of the flesh. Because when you trying to get all of this information, even when it comes to information, if you got too much information in your head, they call it, what is it? Information overload.
Yeah.
That can bug you the hell out. Like you had,
Selected.
brother, just want to finish this point. Because I remember years ago, man, when I was in my beginnings of this truth, there was a particular brother that was in, I believe he was in Apostle Tahar's camp. And this dude, he really wanted to be an individual that wanted to accumulate as much information of this truth as possible. That was really his whole entire purpose. It's to learn more and more of this truth. But now look at him, he's out of the truth. All right? So you can't go over the top. You gotta be balanced. That's the key, that's the whole key thing to wisdom and as well as life is balance. All right?
Go on, bro. So lucky, I was just gonna say, because you were talking about information overload, that's why Esau will pump so much information out there into the atmosphere, so that confuses the people to actually what the truth is.
Yeah.
For example, on his media, on his television, he's pumping out all kind of lies there through his newspapers, going on social media. Now they've got fact checkers who are posting false information. You go on YouTube, you'll be hit by these little short videos. Or you go on TikTok, you've got shorts on there. It's all to flood your mind with nonsense, so that when you do encounter the truth, you're too emotionally and mentally unstable to even comprehend what you're seeing.
Yeah.
So that's part of Esau's, what did it say? It's in Revelation, the dragon poured water out of his mouth and tried to drown the woman.
Right.
You know, that's Esau flooding the place of information and lies.
Now you know that's actually that's going into when we because you had a couple, because we used to break it down like that years ago.
Oh, slacker.
No, that's all right. That's going into when the Israelites left the ancient Romans, because the Romans were persecuting
Oh, in
us.
70.
Yeah.
Right.
So they couldn't persecute us all. That's what that's going into. That's all right. That's all right.
Precept.
You're going on.
Proverbs 17 and 22 says, I read 20 says, he that have a froward heart findeth no good, and he that have a perverse tongue falleth unto mischief. But ultimately, we know that's the ease. That's their one goal in life is to be perverse and look for mischief and find mischief. That's what makes them, in their mind, it makes them happy. Yeah. 22, a merry heart doth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit drive the bones.
Right, exactly. A wicked, what is it? A heavy spirit drive the bones.
Yeah.
So in other words, it just means that it basically ages you quick, man.
Yeah. That's
You know what
why.
I mean?
That's why when you have I use an example. We're not going to talk about women, but I'm going to use this example as a woman. If you're with one of them nagging women, you ever been one of them nagging women? You end up either wanting to do something to her or doing something to yourself.
Yeah.
They drain your bones. It's like they because they're miserable.
Succubus.
There's a song called "Miserable Woman," a miserable woman, man. It's the last thing you want, or nagging or dragon. But it says a merry heart doth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit drive the bones. So merry heart. So brothers have their things what you do. That's why we talk about this truth. And brothers, as what you brought out earlier, have your outlet. Now certain brothers have wine. They drink their little wine, give them a little, loosen them up and make them feel good. I'm into my singing. I still got my little down low of music, which ain't going to stop that. Within reason, in balance. So you have your little outlet, because if you like, let's say, for example, you just keep watching about Esau and he's getting what he's done and what he keeps on doing and what it's like you become miserable and you become angry. Like even the other day, I was walking out my yard and a dog was just looking at me, just looking at me. My first reaction was to get mad, but then I thought, okay, all right, the owner's over there. If I get mad with the dog, you know what I mean? It's gonna be all kind of folly. So singing, sometimes I put my headphones on. When I see a dilemma's gonna happen, I can see like in their spirit, they're looking for trouble. I put my headphones on and I just leave my headphones on and I just walk past singing to myself. Yeah. Singing is actually very spiritual thing to do too. Singing alleviates a lot of stress off of you.
Singing in the rain.
King David was well known for that,
playing the harp.
A man on the harp, So yeah, last time I read it again. A merry heart doth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit drive the bones. Again, in the Christian church, you've got all the people, they go there for mischief, and start trouble or gossip, especially women. Gossip. Oh, is he going to get divorced? And that's all of what they want to talk about. And you have to realize and they want to draw you into it too.
You know what?
Yeah.
If you really want to go deep, that's really for the most part. That's really what black women talk about. They always talk about how the relationships can end. They're just negative when it comes to relationships. Even KS was bringing that up. And that's why a lot of them are single right now.
Right.
Okay. Because if you dealing with the Israelite woman, you better believe, man, she's gonna come with some problems.
Yeah.
She's gonna give you some problems. It ain't gonna be peace and happiness in a relationship. You're gonna have to deal with a lot of trouble.
But the scripture says you shall have trouble in the flesh.
Yep.
No matter what woman you get with, it's gonna bring you some level of trouble.
Yeah, come. But if I'm just saying, for the most part, though, the Israelite woman, she's gonna give you more problems because she's obviously going to do more than the other nations.
Going through a lot, yeah.
Women. And she's under the curses. Yeah.
And you're the man, so she's going to want to unload naturally, she's going to want to unload a lot of her burden on you. And you going through the pressure, you got your own pressure.
Yeah.
So
it's like leaving camp and you're going home and she's at the door waiting with the belt. You know what I mean? Same way, man. Ready to beat your ass, It took so long.
She's looking to jump on you like a tiger.
Nigga, where you been?
That's what we have to put up with.
You're there thinking you're going home to a hot plate and your slippers. She's waiting behind the door with a belt.
Yeah, ready to argue, man. That's why he's argumentative. Because he got to get all of that shit out of their system. So they put that on you. Yeah, they under the curse and stuff. Yeah, so let's go into this now. Start with verse 1.
Ezekiel 31, right? Ezekiel 31 and 1. And
really, this was a message to Lucky, brother. This was a message that Ezekiel was telling this guy here. Let me go on my phone now. his name in the Greek, which he was an Egyptian pharaoh at the time, his name was in Greek Apries. In the Hebrew, his name is Hopper. All right? Which is when you read it on, if you can, brother, give me Jeremiah 44, verse 3. Let me see if I'm right on this as well, just to make sure. Yeah, I'm right. Come on, go on. Yeah, you got it, bro. I'm on to it. No. Yeah, Jeremiah 44 and 30. I want you to read this first, though. Okay. Huh.
Ezekiel 31 and 1, and it came to pass in the 11th year, in the 3rd month, in the 1st day of the month, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and to his multitude,
Right.
whom art thou like in thy greatness?
Right, and at the time we're talking about, what is it, 580, I think it was 586 BCE. That's the new term they use, which is before the Christian era. Right? Go on.
And it says, Son of man, speak unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and to his multitude, whom art thou like in thy greatness?
Go on.
Behold, the Assyrian was a cedar in Lebanon,
Right.
with fair branches, and with a shadowing shroud.
Meaning, basically, this, because you had the Assyrian Empire at one time, right? So this was a beautiful place, right? Go on.
And it says, and with shadowing shroud, and of an high stature, and his top was among the thick boughs. The water made him great, the deep set him up on high, with the rivers running round about his plants.
Right.
And sent out her little rivers unto all the trees of the field. Therefore his height was exalted above all the trees of the field, and his boughs were multiplied, and his branches became long because of the multitude of waters when he shot forth. All the fowls of heaven made their nests in his boughs, and under his branches did all the beasts of the field bring forth their young.
Which all of the beasts of the field represents the nations. Like when you go into the book of Daniel 7, it talks about the 4 beasts. Go on.
And it says, and all the fowls of heaven, and all the fowls of heaven made their nest in the boughs, and under his branches did all the beasts of the field bring forth their young, and under his shadow dwell all great nations.
Right. Under his shadows dwelt all great nations. So that's what that was talking about. So during the Assyrian Empire, you had a lot going on. You had other nations under it, because when you conquer, when a nation conquers, right, a great empire, which really the Assyrian Empire, I think that empire from the time, the empires that Daniel was talking about, the Assyrian Empire was one of the major empires among many that Daniel listed concerning the statue. So this empire was great to the point where the nations that were at the time, not all nations, but the nations that it conquered was under it. Okay? So obviously they had children and all of that stuff, and they were under that same king. Okay? Which I forgot the names of the Assyrian kings, man. I forgot. You know what I mean? But I just wanted to go into it just to be simple with this. Yeah. Going on.
And it says, the cedars in the garden of the Most High could not hide him. The fir trees were not like his boughs, and the chestnut trees were not like his branches. For any tree in the garden of the Most High was like unto him in his beauty. I have made him fair by the multitude of his branches. And all the trees of Eden that were in the garden of the Most High.
Right, because the trees represents the people, the nations. Go on.
Envied him.
Right. Now this is talking about the time when you had the sons of God. You had the Adamites. All right. You had the sons of men, the sons of the wicked one, and the sons of the righteous. Go on.
And it says, I have made him fair by the multitude of his branches, so that all the trees of Eden that were in the garden of the Most High envied him.
It's just like how it is right now. All of the nations envy us because of our God-given abilities. We can sing better. We can pretty much dance better. We can do all manner of things if we put our mind to it better than all of these other nations. Go on.
And it says, therefore thus saith the Lord power, because thou hast lifted up thyself in height, he hath shut up his top among the thick bows,
Right.
and his heart is lifted up in his
So
heart.
now he's telling the the king of excuse me, not the king. What am I talking about? The Pharaoh, which his name was Apries in Opera, because he magnified himself. And it goes into it because he said, look at the Israelites. Look how low they are. Because during that time around, the 6th century BC, Israel was desolate. Israel was desolate. So you had these great people among these other nations that would look down upon Israel. And eventually, when they did that, then it was the time of their end. Because now they became boastful. All right? That's the best way I could put it. That's them declaring to be more boastful. Or that boastful spirit. Let me say it that way. Go on, my brother.
And it says, therefore thus saith the Lord power, because thou hast lifted up thyself in height, and he hath shot up to the top of the thick bows of his heart is lifted up in his heights.
Go on.
I have therefore delivered him into the hand of the mighty one of the heathen.
Right, I have delivered thee of the mighty one unto the heathen. So the mighty one which became after this guy was Nebuchadnezzar. Now when you go into the history, Nebuchadnezzar, he didn't take over Egypt. It was really the Persians that took over Egypt. Okay, but basically he was taken out. Because what? He exalted himself. He was at the height of himself. He got comfortable. And then when you get comfortable, pretty much among these nations I'm talking about, that pride is just there. That pride is just exuberating. Okay? You feel like you're a god almost.
Yeah.
So the Lord basically took his ass out. When you go into the story, I'm gonna read a little bit of the secular history, right? Because it says here, it says right here, it says, as a matter of fact, I don't have to go into this. I'll go into this later. Let's get Jeremiah 44 and verse 30.
Right, this is Jeremiah 44 and 30. It says, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will give Pharaoh, king of Egypt, into the hand of his enemies, and into the hand of them that seek his life, as I gave Zedekiah, king of Judah, into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, his enemy that sought his life.
His enemy that sought his life. So he was basically taken out. And the enemy of that guy was, like I said, Nebuchadnezzar. He was the next to come into the rulership. Okay, go on.
It says, I have therefore delivered him into the hand of the mighty one of the heathen. He shall surely deal with him. I have driven him out for his wickedness. And strangers, the terrible of the nations, have cut him off, and have left him upon the mountains. And in all thy valleys, his branches are fallen, and his boughs are broken by all the rivers of the land.
Right, all of his men. Go on.
And all the people of the earth are gone down from his shadow, and have left him. Upon his ruins shall all the fowls of the heaven remain,
Right, go on.
and all the beasts of the field shall be upon his branches.
Go on.
To the end that none of all the trees by the waters exalt themselves.
Right, that none of the trees by the waters exalt themselves. The people is talking about, the nations. Go on.
For their height, neither shoot up, neither top among the thick boughs,
Right.
neither their trees stand up in their height,
Right,
all that drink water.
right, all that drink water. Go on.
For they are all delivered unto death.
Right, for they are all delivered unto death. Now when you go, now hold on to that. Get Daniel's, what is it? I tell you what, brother, you get it. Get Daniel's 4. Because, let me see something. No, you know what? You can only but do so much. Stay right there. You get Daniel's 4, which will begin from reading the first verse all the way down. But let's read this now.
Right.
Let's finish this off.
Where we at?
Because also, the height of a tree can also represent the greatness of a nation as well. And really, the reason why I'm going into this is to further convey the point that it doesn't matter how high a nation goes. If it's time for you to go down, you're going to go down. And that's the message for you so-called white people. Those especially that call themselves the JOOs. The Lord is bringing you down. No matter how much technological power you got, no matter how much military power you got, the Lord gave you that power, and it's the same He's going to give it. He's going to take it away. He's going to take you out of power. All right, and set those that are below the green into the position of power. All right, go on, brother.
They are all delivered unto death to nether parts of the earth.
Right, meaning the grave. Go on.
In the midst of the children of men, with them that go down to the pit.
Right, that's why He mentions the bows, the children of men. Now, you look up that word children, the word is banya, which means sons. Because the bows represent your sons. I remember the old apostles going into this years ago.
Yeah.
In Ezekiel 17. Go on, brother.
Thus saith the Lord power, in the day he went down to the grave, I caused a mourning. I covered the deep for him, and I restrained the floods thereof.
Right.
And the great waters were stayed, and I caused Lebanon to mourn for him, and all the trees of the field fainted for him.
And we know that the great waters represent the nations overall. Like it tells you in Revelations, I think it's Revelations, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, 17, where it says Babylon. Babylon was what? Above the great, had ownership of the waters. I'm saying it wrong. Go on, I'll tell you what, since I'm butchering it, somebody get that for me. Baba Kushar. Revelation 17. The great hall, right, the great hall that sitteth upon many waters. There you go.
Revelation 17 and 1, it says, and there came one of the seven angels, which had 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, and I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters.
Right, which is the nations. There you go. Go on, bro.
Right, and it says, I made the nations to shake at the sound of his fall, when I cast him down to hell with them that descend into the pit.
You read it again.
I made the nations to shake at the sound of his fall, when I cast him down to hell.
Right. Now, doesn't it say when the Lord comes back in this time, He's going to what? Quake the earth. So what's going to happen when the Lord makes the second return? The nations are going to have to shake at the destruction of which is called Babylon. Modern day Babylon, which is America. And all those that what? Partook in this great hall, they're going to mourn for her. Because they're not going to be able to enrich themselves anymore. Revelations 18 I'm talking about. Go on.
And it says, when I cast him down to hell with them that descend into the pit, and all the trees of Eden, the choice and best of Lebanon, all that drink water shall be comforted in the nether parts of the earth.
Right, meaning they're going to be in the grave. Go on.
And they also went down into hell with him, unto them that be slain with the sword, and they that were his arm, that dwelt under his shadow, in the midst of the heaven.
Right, they was
the heathen.
In other words, they was under his power. Go on.
To whom art thou like in glory, and in greatness among the trees of Eden?
Right.
Yet shalt thou be brought down with the trees of Eden unto the nether parts of the earth.
Right.
Thou shalt lie in the midst of the uncircumcised.
So now Ezekiel is telling the Pharaoh now that this is going to be the case. He was comparing them to Assyria, how great they were, how beautified they were and everything. Okay? But guess what? Besides all of that, you're gonna actually you're gonna go down as well as how the Assyrians went down. How about that? Okay? Because your greatness is no different from the greatness of the Assyrian Empire. Go on.
And it says, with the uncircumcised, with them that be slain by the sword. This is Pharaoh and all his multitude, saith the Lord power.
This is Pharaoh and all of his multitude. What does it say?
Saith the Lord power.
Save the Lord power. So that's what the message was for. It was really sent for him. Okay? He was telling them, look, you see how great the Assyrians were and everything else? It's like manner, you was like manner how, let me just reiterate myself. Right? The same way you was great, in like manner you shall come down like them as well. Just to simply put it in that kind of way. You know? So now that we're done with that,
Daniel 4.
Daniel's 4. There you go. Daniel's 4.
Nice, Caleb.
That's why you need brothers around you, man, because we're in the flesh. We forget things and everything, man.
Come on, you want to meet going, bro? Daniel 4 from verse 1. Nebuchadnezzar, the king, unto all people, nations, and languages that dwell in all the earth,
Right.
peace be multiplied unto you. I thought it good to show the signs and wonders that the high God hath wrought towards me.
Right.
How great are his signs, and how mighty are his wonders. And his kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and his dominion is from generation to generation. I, Nebuchadnezzar, was at rest in my house, and flourishing in my palace. I saw a dream which made me afraid, and the thoughts upon my bed and the visions of my head troubled me. Therefore made I a decree to bring all the wise men of Babylon before me, that they might make known unto me the interpretation of the dream. There came in the magicians and astrologers and the Chaldeans and the soothsayers, and I told the dream before them, but they did not make known unto me the interpretation thereof. But at the last Daniel came in before me, whose name was Belshazzar, according to the name of my God, in whom is the spirit of the holy gods. And before him I told him the dream, saying, O Belshazzar, master of the magicians, because I know that the spirit of the holy gods is in thee, and no secret troubleth thee.
Yeah, because when you read the second chapter of Daniel's, he actually wrote the interpretation down. So he was already like pleased for Daniel, and that's why he said what he said in those words. That the holy gods was with him, which he was kind of, he was right, but then he was wrong. And I say that, well, really, actually, no, he was right, because if you look up that term, gods, it's lowercase g.
Yep.
So the Elohim really is what it is. It's the angels of the Lord among the prophets. Go on.
Right,
But he was basically saying in a sense of the gods in general, because that's what they would worship, other gods. Go on.
I know that the spirit of the holy gods is in me, and no secret troubleth thee. Tell me the visions of my dream that I have seen, and the interpretation thereof. Thus were the visions of mine head in my bed. I saw and behold a tree in the midst of the earth, and the height thereof was great. The tree grew and was strong, and the height thereof reached unto heaven, and all the sight thereof to the end of all the earth. The leaves thereof were fair, and the fruit thereof much, and it was meat for all, and the beasts of the field had shadow under it.
Right, just like what we just read in Ezekiel 31. The beasts were shadowed under it. In other words, the other nations were under the authority of that particular nation it was going into. Go on.
And all the fowls of heaven dwelt in the boughs thereof, and all flesh was fled of it. All flesh was fed of it.
And all flesh was fed of it. Just like this world is the same thing. These other nations have actually become enriched under Esau's rulership. So that's what was going on with the Assyrians. That's what was going on in ancient Babylon, and this was going on right now. All right, but now we're dealing with ancient Babylon, which the head of that was Nebuchadnezzar, which really was the second. What you had the first guy that set it up, which was Nabonidus, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. But this is Nebuchadnezzar, which I think it was his father, Nabonidus or something like that. Don't take it from me. Do the research, because I'm saying it wrong. But that was his father. What were you gonna say?
I was going to say something along those lines.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact pronunciation.
You're going up.
Daniel 4:13. I saw in the visions of my head, and behold, a watcher and a holy one came down from heaven. And he cried aloud and said thus, hew down the tree, and cut off his branches, and shake his leaves, and scatter his fruit. Let the beasts get away from under it,
and the fowls from his branches. Nevertheless, leave the stump of his roots in the earth, even with a band of iron and brass, in the tender grass of the field, and let it be wet with the dew of heaven, and let his portion be with the beasts in the grass of the earth. Let his heart be changed from a man's, and let a beast's heart be given unto him, and let 7 times pass over him. This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setting up over it the basis of men.
Oh, that's cool, it's cool. Let me see something.
The basis of men. So right now,
Yeah, that's on 100%, so you can use it.
we're considered in the we are considered the basis of men today because of the lower condition we're in. Same thing with the Edomites. The Edomites were in
That
the
might
base
cut out in a
situation.
second.
They were the ones dwelling in the clefts of the rock. But the Lord brought them out of that base situation
One second, hold this, hold this.
to rule during the time of the Greeks, or to rule as the Greeks, and then rule as the Romans, and then Jake would come in and rule, and they would come back out of being under Jake to rule again, to fulfill Daniel's vision. Go on, brother.
Verse 18, this dream I, King Nebuchadnezzar, have seen. Now thou, O Belshazzar, declare the interpretation thereof, for as much as all the wise men of my kingdom are not able to make known unto me the interpretation, but thou art able, for the spirit of the holy gods is in me.
Yeah, and just I just want to say this as well. I know I should have said it when I was going into the topic, going into Ezekiel and all of that, right? Which the word gold, originally, when you read Genesis 49 and 22, the word goes back to sons. So I was just correct. I just wanted to just put that out there, just to make sure I was correct, going on. So now we're going to move forward back to this.
Daniel 4:19. Then Daniel, whose name was Belshazzar, was astonished for 1 hour, and his thoughts troubled him. The king spake and said, Belshazzar, let not the dream or the interpretation thereof trouble thee. Belshazzar answered and said, my lord, the dream be to them that hate thee, and the interpretation thereof to thine enemies. The tree that thou sawest, which grew and was strong, whose height reached unto the heavens, and the sight thereof unto all the earth.
Right, and the sight thereof unto all of the earth, going.
Whose leaves were fair, and the fruit thereof much. And in it was meat for all, under which the beasts of the field had dwelt.
The other nations, going, and you just went into, going.
Upon whose branches the fowls of the heaven had their habitation. It is thou, O king, that art grown and become strong.
Right, and so that's what the tree represented. It represented his level of might, his level of strength and power. Because when you look at the map, I'm gonna see if I can get the map right now. I got it. I got it right here. Yeah, so this is the map. Yeah, so if you look at this here, hopefully you can see it. These are the areas that he took over. Now, when he came into power, obviously he didn't take all of these lands. It was by a process of time, because when the kingdom is set up, it takes a process of time to be as great as it needs to be. Okay, so during the time, like we was reading, I forgot to say this as well when we was going into reading Ezekiel, how it was mentioned that he was going to take over Tyre. Now, when Ezekiel was prophesying against Tyre, that was what, 586 BC, which most of the scholars will say that that's the case, right? Prior before then, at the time, Tyre wasn't taken over, but Babylon was still in power. Okay, so it took a process of time for Babylon to become as great as it did. Okay, it's taken all over these different places. Just like this society, when Esau came into the power, he didn't just instantly become as great as he is right now. It took time to get to the height of his greatness. If you understand what I'm saying. Yeah? Yes, okay. So now let's continue on.
Daniel 4:22. It is thou, O king, that art grown and become strong, for thy greatness is grown and reacheth unto heaven, and thy dominion to the end of the earth.
Right, so he came to the heightness of his greatness, even Babylon. Go on.
And whereas the king saw a watcher and a holy one coming down from heaven, and saying, hew down the tree and destroy it, yet leave the stump of the roots thereof in the earth, even with a band of iron and brass, and in the tender grass of the field, and let it be wet with dew of heaven, and let his portion be with the beasts of the field, who 7 times pass over him. This is the interpretation, O king, and this is the decree of the Most High, which has come upon my Lord the king.
Yeah, so correct me if I'm wrong. So check this out. Now Daniel was already put in a position which was given to King Nebuchadnezzar. But yet he told him the straight skinny. He said, look, this tree represents the heightness of you. All right? And as well as this tree is going to be cut down, meaning you are going to be cut down. Okay? Go on.
Verse 25, that they shall drive thee from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field.
Because the Lord was going to bug him out. Turn him into, make him believe that he was a beast. Which is to signify a thing. To say that, look, that the living must know by the watchers, by the decree, that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and he give it to whomsoever he will. Go on.
That they shall drive thee from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field, and they shall make thee to eat grass as oxen, and they shall wet thee with the dew of heaven, and 7 times shall pass over thee, till thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will.
Yeah, that was the signification of that. That's why the Lord bugged them out. Now also someone get me the book of Wisdom of Solomon. No, is Wisdom of Solomon? No, Sirach. Somebody get me Sirach chapter 10, verse 4. Oh, you got it, okay.
Sirach what? 10?
Okay,
Oh, you got it. Oh, Slack your brother.
This is Sirach 10 and 4. It says, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable.
Right. So in due time, we're going to be set on high, because what makes us profitable? Because we are the only nation that the Lord has dealt so with. How is the Lord dealing with us? Or from the beginning? By using Moses, and through Moses, guess what? He was giving what? The laws and the statutes and the commandments. So it's by the laws showing that we are what? That the Lord is dealing with us. Which the laws also keeps us connected with the covenant. That's going into something else though, but I just want to bring that out. Going up. I'm on the loop. I'm on one loop. Well, that was the point. Yeah,
Right, back to Daniel 4 then, yeah? Verse 26, Daniel 4:26. And whereas they commanded to leave the stump of the tree roots in thy kingdom shall be sure unto thee, after that thou shalt have known that the heavens do rule.
Right. That's the point. Thou shalt know that the heavens do rule. So that's showing you right there that the Heavenly Father, and as well as the angels that we don't see, they manipulate all of the elements here on this earth. They control the minds of men. That's the whole ordeal. So that's really the point that I want to convey. It's not about, going into the breakdown. The breakdowns are there for you to learn, so that you can understand, right? So what I'm conveying, I'm doing it. What I'm conveying is that, look, the Most High controls everything. As we all know, we know this already, but we need to know this in our minds. That needs to be in the front part of our mind, man, the frontal lobe. That needs to be the main thing that should be in your mind. So when all hell breaks loose out here, you understand and you realize that it's the Lord. It's not Esau. Esau's going to come as the dragon, as it tells you in Revelation 12 and 12, right? It says that the devil will come down up in great wrath because he knows that he have but a short time. But it's the Lord that's going to allow him to do this, or put the spirit on him to do this, so that other prophecies can be fulfilled, and therefore he can be destroyed. Okay? So this wisdom and this understanding is very important, which is a part, what I'm going into is a part of that. Obviously, anyway. Going on. You going, Daniel? I think that's basically the point. But we'll see what else he's saying. No, actually, read what you left off at.
Right, so I'll read from 26 again. Daniel 4 and 26. And whereas they...
No, actually, who was reading? I remember now. It wasn't Daniel. You finished with that. Okay. Someone was reading. Yeah, you was reading. Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want. Yeah, come. And there's some more too. I want to get into.
So yeah, Sirach, I'll start at 4 again.
Yeah.
Sirach 10 and 4, it says, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set it over one that is profitable.
Right. So he will set the one over that which is profitable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to elaborate on this precept and we're going to close out, because I got some other stuff I want to go over. So I'll go over this probably next week, because this is a lot of stuff, man, to cover. You know, because brothers have been out here for the most part, more than me. So yeah, that's just the thing, man. At the end of the day, the Lord, he's basically the one that's setting this whole thing up, man. He rises nation up just to crash them down and raise them up again. All right? But I got some more stuff I want to go into later on. But that's just pretty much it right there. And this is why the Lord has blessed us with this information, this knowledge, and this understanding. Not just so that we can brag and boast, but to also do a deed in fulfilling his will and demonstrating that it's his doings overall. All right, and to give warning to the people, and as well as the powers that be. All of y'all vessels. Go on, brother.
Malachi 1 verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places.
Right, so that's written. It says that in Malachi, right? Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Malachi prophesied that, look, Esau is going to return and build back the desolate places. When he came as the Greeks, he endured for a time, and then you had those 4 generals, okay? And then after all of that was said and done, then the Roman Empire came in the scene. So that's Esau what? Coming back again. Building back the desolate places again. Because everything that Esau builds back, or his empire, which is a desolate place itself. Go on.
Malachi 1 verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished,
Right.
but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts.
Go on.
They shall build, but I will throw down.
But I will throw down. And the Lord is going to throw down when Yahweh makes his second return in the last Roman Empire, which is what we're in right now, which is the region of the statue, which is the 10 toes, the last part of the statue. So he's going to be the one that destroyed this fucking kingdom. And that's what the powers that be and the governments are worried about. That he's coming down to destroy this kingdom.
And all the while, he's going to make them do it.
Exactly.
When it comes to that World War III, he's going to make them do it.
Yeah.
He's the one that's put them that spirit on them and in their minds to build
Delusion.
these
Yeah,
weapons
the
of mass
delusion.
destruction.
Yeah. That's it,
In
my
order
brother.
to just destroy themselves.
Yeah. Sure. Go on, brother.
They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness.
So there you have it. There you have it, man. You know what I mean? So if you brothers got any more precepts to bring out, that's cool too. Because maybe the spirit still may be on you on that. But I just want to just be fair, because I know I came in like mad late. So, you know, it wouldn't be right to just continue on. You brothers have been out there. So no more scriptures. Okay, Kanye, so with that we want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and the Son.
Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rakakodash,
Wa above the ball.
Wa above the ball.
Shalom.
Shalom, Kwam Yasharala.
The live is done.
The water,